Welcome to episode 3 of Pigskin Over Pizza, the show where we talk about sports while eating and eventually reviewing a hopefully delicious pizza. The date is June 24th. I'm your host, Casey, along with my good friend and co-host and friend of the show, Trevor.
Hello. I don't get a cool nickname.
Well,
D-Dubs.
Derek, yeah, he wasn't the
D-Dubs.
biggest fan. D-Dubs.
D-Dubs.
He wasn't the biggest fan of that nickname, so I thought maybe I should
can
stop
be-
nicknames.
I can be T-Dubs.
T-Dubs.
Golden Retriever.
Yeah, Golden Retriever, that's a good one.
Retriever.
Not really sports, but,
I can't make it.
What about T-Ball?
T-Ball. Yeah,
That's a good one. Okay.
Co-host T-Ball.
Trevor, you want to tell them about the pizza we're eating today? Because you,
Yeah, so this is Ange's Pizza. I thought I've had it before, but it turns out I have not. So I'm going to be surprised just as Casey. So it's, it's in Gahanna. Looks good. I don't really know much about it, but like, it's by the theater, so I just picked it up after work.
yeah.
Boom.
I've had it before. I really like it, but it's been a little bit.
Really?
So we can start talking and you can dig in as you want. But we can start with Trevor since you've never been on here. I kind of know, but for people watching or listening, what are your favorite teams and what sports do you follow?
So, go through baseball.
Okay.
I am a Cincinnati Reds fan. That is, grew up since I was 5. Reds fan. I kind of watch everything though. So like anybody that's on, I kind of watch it. I don't really care. I won't follow their division rivals because rivals. Kind of follow the Blue Jays because I've been to Toronto and really like Toronto. And they used to be good. Now they're kind of trash. And then I also kind of pay attention to the Baltimore Orioles because my great aunt and great uncle live in Baltimore. So
Fair.
I just watch them, and like if they suck, then I don't really care. It's like just whatever. But
Yeah.
but the Reds are my team, my merchandise team, and then basketball. I was a Cavs fan when they were good, and that's just because my cousin liked them, and he kind of like taught me basketball. Then I kind of became a Celtics fan because of Aaron, our friend Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I don't really follow a team. I just wait until the finals and then watch the finals. So that's basketball. Football, Bengals.
Do you, before you continue, do you like the Buckeyes in college basketball or you don't care about college?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I watch college. I kind of watch everything, March Madness. All that stuff. Buckeyes, yeah, I do. That's my like go-to. I have to watch them if they're on. I watch them. Same with football, college baseball too. It's Arkansas Razorbacks because my dad grew up in Arkansas, so I'm like I'm gonna follow them. And then Buckeyes baseball, Buckeyes softball, all that stuff. Where I leave off? Oh yeah, football. Bengals. And then just the Bengals. I watch like Monday Night Football a lot, but primetime stuff. But my main concern is hockey, CBJ, Blue Jackets. All I watch is Blue Jackets. Soccer. I'm a huge sports fan, so I watch like this list is gonna be a while. Soccer. I'm a Crew. Go Crew. Or is it Columbus Soccer Club or?
No, they got rid of that thankfully. So
they
it is
did.
a Crew.
Is that just a Crew? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I at soccer? What sports are there? Olympics, Team USA.
Weird.
Yeah,
I would never guess.
definitely.
Actually,
Team USA.
I feel like this Olympics is going to be, or next Olympics, whatever. Is this year or next year?
This year.
Okay.
It's actually in like 2 weeks, something like that.
Oh, it's real
a few
soon.
weeks.
But how much everybody likes to be hate on themselves and hate on things they're a part of. I feel like you might see a lot of Americans rooting against America just to like, and not the other countries. Obviously, they're going, but I'm talking about Americans. I think a lot of people here are going to root against them, which is kind of idiotic. But
then you think of like the NBA and like because the Team USA basketball is NBA players, but like NBA players are from different countries.
Yeah.
So like all these all-stars are actually from different countries. So like if you wither them down, it's actually you don't really have all those greats that you think about. But
Yeah.
I think that covers all sport. Tennis, I'm Serena Williams.
Made it sound like you are her. Like you just transition into being her. I am Serena
I root
Williams.
for Serena Williams.
I knew what you meant. It just sounded funny.
And that's it. Yeah. Sports.
You forgot an important football team in there.
Oh,
You're-
yeah. I'm also gonna be. The way to talk about
I try and time it, but it's hard because pizza's good. So
Yeah.
you're okay, bud.
I'm also gonna be a Columbus Wild Dogs fan. I was also a Destroyers fan, R.I.P. But I'm going to be a Wild Dogs.
And we're trying to convert Trevor. It's like I'm running this weird cult right now into being a season ticket holder as well. So
I'm interested.
Fingers
I'll
crossed.
let you know.
Okay.
I'll probably wait until like the deadline and then like, yep, I'm going.
oh, you're good. It happens. Okay, well, anything else you want to talk about random since it's the first show you've ever been on? Because you listen to almost or watch almost everything we do, which is
That's
crazy.
true. All 70 current backloggers, all your live streams too. I've watched all the.
And you don't even watch them live most of the times. And I'm not
Oh, I
criticizing
don't,
for
no.
not doing that. That's even more crazy to watch them after they happen.
No, I play my video games and then I wait until like midnight and then I'm like, all right, time for podcast, and then usually like read a book or something.
Yeah.
Takes me a few days, especially like the 24-hour one took me like a week. But yeah, I watched everything, and I was there when Brohawks was alive. R.I.P.
That's how long you've been around. You remember Bro Hawks?
Yeah, I'm old. Back in my day, we had Brohawks.
You're a funny guy, Trevor.
Yes, I am.
Well, we can start with football then if you want. You said you had some stuff about football. If you want to start.
Yeah. Football. The Bengals. Burrow attended the OTAs. I think that's the not required optional practices,
Mm-hmm.
and he was 85% and no issues doing a few drills, and he said he hopes to be 100% by training camp. So we will have our star quarterback back, and quarterback back, and hopefully we can fix the line, or the line can. We cut Bobby Hart, who was awful, and I'm pretty sure he was the reason Burrow got hurt. I gotta rewatch. I forget. I gotta rewatch that, but pretty sure he's the reason that the guy came in and took out like his whole ACL, MCL.
Just grabbed it out of there, Mortal Kombat style.
Pretty much, yeah. He like his whole leg was just jacked up. It was ACL, MCL,
Yeah.
cartilage. Cartilage damage.
It's okay. You've heard me on here.
something.
I'm all over the place. It happens.
So, but he hopes to be. He's ahead of schedule. So hopefully we have him. If not, we did re-sign Brendan Allen, who took over for him, and he did pretty good.
Former Bronco.
He?
Yeah, he's the one that I can't remember if he either almost beat him or beat the Browns when Browns fans were being real cocky and he was a third string Broncos quarterback. And either one of those, I can't remember if he almost did or if he beat him. And Browns fans were still cocky about that somehow when they either lost or almost lost to a third string quarterback.
That was the Bengals. Ryan Finley. He was a third string. He beat the Steelers, and we're like, what? Now he's Texan.
Yeah. Do you have any worries about Joe Burrow, even if he is healthy, like getting that kind of hit can mess with quarterback's career?
Definitely.
Not even just like re-injury, which is obviously a potential, but I feel like quarterbacks can play completely different because it gets in their head. Because that's like getting in a car accident, like a near-death car accident. It sticks in your head when you drive for the rest of your life. So when you're dropping back for a pass and you see somebody 300 pounds, I feel like you're probably just replaying that in your head over and over. You're like, oh, shit.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. Or he might be mentally messed up, or he could be like, he just can't be a mobile quarterback anymore. Can't run that much, or I don't think he really ran that much anyway, but yeah, he probably wouldn't be mobile that much, and definitely like he probably has some doubts about his line because they failed him. And I think he's done. If he gets hit like that one more time, he's gone. Like his career's over. Because like he jacked up his knee, or his
Yeah.
leg, his whole leg. And if that happens again, that could be his career. Like I mean, he could probably like come back or something. Like, he probably could because um, what was it?
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith. He came back, and I think his was close or worse than Burrow's.
Yeah, they thought they might have to amputate his leg and he
Yeah.
start playing football.
They cut him. Surprise, yeah. But the Bengals signed all their rookies. Everyone on their draft class got signed, so happy about that. We signed 6 undrafted free agents, including Ohio State punter Drew Chrisman.
Oh yeah.
So I saw that, I'm like, huh, he's pretty decent.
Oh yeah, he was good.
Justin Fields signed his rookie contract, but Dalton's still expected to start over him. So but it's hard because Dalton was a Bengal, but our Fields is a Buckeye. So it's like I want Dalton to start, but I want to see Fields play.
Yeah, I don't mind the Bengals actually, but I wouldn't be a Bengals fan. I wouldn't say because of Broncos. And I have nothing against Andy Dalton, and I'm a massive Buckeyes fan. And I think Justin Fields could be a top quarterback in the league. But even saying that, and the reason for saying that is I think Chicago would be very smart to play Andy Dalton the entire year. I don't see how it does any harm to Justin Fields. I think it could only benefit him. But I feel like
Because you get the training thing,
Yeah.
or you get the look and then the experience, and Dalton can be like, hey, here's how this works.
yeah. And I don't think Andy Dalton is the best quarterback in the world. And I think even Bengals fans, before they started hating on him when they thought he was the next big thing, I feel like they gave him a little too much credit. But I think he's somewhere in the middle now. I don't think he's as bad as you'll make him out to be. And I think even saying that, he seems like perfect guy attitude-wise and personality-wise.
Yeah,
So
he has like charities and
yeah.
all that stuff. Like he's a good guy.
So I think that's a perfect kind of person to teach a quarterback.
Yeah, I hated how they treated him though, because like in Cincinnati they well, he threw like 4 interceptions. I was there. We went to the Bengals versus Jaguars, and they're actually really good. Like it was a special teams. They would always kick it to like the 1-yard line every time, and then they held him pretty decently. Then the fourth quarter, he just throws like 4 interceptions in a row, and all this bad stuff happens, and we're like, what's happening? Like what? And then eventually they benched him on his birthday, and I'm like, well, that's kind of messed up. And I think like later they wanted to trade him, but he's like, I don't want to be here, and they cut him and signed with the Cowboys, and then he got COVID and a concussion at the same time. I'm like, oh my god! But he started for Prescott, the Bear. I don't think the Bears really like Dalton being so.
Yeah, especially the fans. I think they know Justin Fields is a future quarterback, so that's why if I was them, I wouldn't play Justin Fields all year.
Heartburn.
That's the first time that's ever happened on podcast.
No.
It's kind of shocking, I know, right? But yeah. But I think, especially with fans being back in the stands, the first time he has a bad game, they're just going to yank him. And I don't think it'd be fair, but I think that's what's going to happen. We'll see, though. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. Also, Buckeye quarterbacks just don't do well ever, so we'll see how he turns out. Yeah, Haskins, I think he just signed with the Steelers, but he got cut. But he was all over the place. He was like leaving, like the last 5 seconds of the game. He left to go take a picture with a fan, and the second string had to take the knee, the victory knee or whatever. I'm like, oh. And then the nightclub with no mask, and or I think it was a strip club.
Yeah.
It was a club of some sort, and no mask, and I think it was just reckless. Now he's a Steeler.
Which is probably the most reckless thing yet.
Oh yeah, joining that awful group of Yellow bees.
Oh, jeez, I thought you were gonna have some like racist slur there or
no,
something.
no.
Um, I have a few things to say about that. I think you're obviously right that Ohio State quarterbacks have struggled, but I think that's something unfair that a lot of people judge with quarterbacks coming out of Ohio State now, because I don't think that just makes in default that any quarterback going forward from Ohio State can't be good. So I feel like I don't hear anybody talk about that with any other school, and I feel like you could do that with so many schools. You'd be like, there's never good wide receivers out of this school. There's never good quarterbacks out of this school. But for some reason, and I don't think it's just because we're in Ohio, because you'll hear on national radio and TV people talk about how Ohio State quarterbacks never do good in the NFL. And I think it's especially weird since the entire system is different now, and the person that is coaching him was an NFL coach. So I think it's way more designed to translate to the NFL better. We'll see if it ends up happening or not. But I think it's way more like it. I will be honest, I thought Haskins would be a top quarterback as well. I can't stand when people don't. That's my main reason why I don't watch sports coverage now, because everybody just jumps off when they're wrong about something. They just act like it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I try and stick to it and be like, yeah, I was wrong. But I will say I also have this real worry in my stomach about, I made the joke about Haskins going to the Steelers, but I have this really bad thought that they might get real fucking lucky and they just found their next quarterback for like the next 5 years after Roethlisberger retires, and they got him for next to nothing, because I think he clearly does have the talent if you watch him at Ohio State, and I don't think it was just because he was in college and fit Ohio State's system. I think he had all the attributes you need for a quarterback. And the stuff that was happening with him was weird because he always seemed like a really high character guy at Ohio State. He had no issues. And I think the strip club thing, I think you could call him stupid for that, but I think it's kind of like when Ohio State got in trouble with all their, like, the tattoos and everything. And everybody's like, this program needs to be shut down. And I was like, okay, yeah, they were wrong for doing this, but we're going to act like every other school doesn't have something going on as well. And as we've seen since then, there's been countless giant schools that have had issues. Not the same thing, but similar issues all around college sports.
Penn State.
Yeah. Theirs was
higher.
Yeah, I was going to say, those two kick her up much higher.
Uh-huh.
But, and somehow some of them got less punishment in certain areas.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the reason I brought that up, I think it'd be naive to act like he was the only one that did that. He might have been the only one or one of the few that got caught. But you can't tell me all these NFL players going to these big cities are just staying in their hotel rooms the entire night. When I went to the Broncos-Bengals game in Cincinnati, and I stayed in the Broncos hotel. I don't know if I ever told you about that. I didn't even know they were going to be there.
I think you did.
Yeah, it was so fucking cool. The whole entire team came in, and you could tell half the team checked in and immediately went out to the city. And I guarantee that's still happening for almost every team. I don't think there's, oh yeah, I gotta go up to the room. It's COVID season.
Doing something.
Yeah. And they have a lot of money and a lot of potential to do things. So probably very similar things that he was doing. So, like I said, I guess you could criticize him, but I think you have to be fair. You'd have to see the landscape of things.
Definitely.
To see it.
Yeah. Also, Ohio State players just don't stay at Ohio State. Like, they become big because Ohio State's a good football school. And so you'll play. So, like, Cardell had 3 good games, a mediocre season, and then got cut by teams. XFL got cut by the XFL. I think he just went under, and then they went under. Never mind. But so, and then Fields. Well, no, Fields played 2 seasons. He was played.
Yeah.
And I think he was a junior, so he probably could have played another year. But Olave stayed. I was happy about that.
Yeah.
But like Trey Sermon, never heard of him. Then he had 2 big games, and now he's NFL, and I don't know how that's gonna. But Dobbins was good. He had a good year.
Yeah, I think we'll see how it turns out. Sermon only went like mid-tier in the draft, so I don't know how early he's gonna get playing time. But I think they might got a steal. I feel like he didn't get much playing time, but I don't think it was like a flash or he just got lucky. I think he has all the skill.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
But then you look at Alabama, and like all of them are seniors. So like like you see them like, oh, Alabama's so good. It's because they stay for the full 4 years.
Yeah.
Or Ohio State would be good, but it's okay. We draft well, so I don't care about whatever happens to them. I kind of lose track of them when they get to the NFL because they go to teams I hate or they like become nobodies. And then not everyone Elliott was good, and then now he's kind of wherever. I don't know. He had some issues. Michael Thomas. Apparently he whines all the time, but he's like fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from. It's probably true because it comes up a lot, but everything I've seen with him, he's always doing charity stuff and seems really nice. And I don't know where that stuff comes from. I don't know if he has like bipolar or what it is.
Maybe, or he like whines because I just see memes, but like I've never like I don't know. I don't watch the Saints, so I don't know, but yeah. Moving on. Jonathan Cooper and Cameron Cheeseman, who are Gahanna Lincoln alumni, went to high school with them. They signed their rookie deals. So I never really met Jonathan Cooper. He was like a few years older than me. But like I'd see him like around school and stuff like that. And when he was at Ohio State, I was like, I'd watch him and be like, hey, I know that guy. And then now got drafted. I'm like, whoa, I know into the Broncos too. So he went up.
Let's say, where did he get drafted to?
Went up to a good place. Cameron Cheeseman actually played baseball with him. I played rec league for 10 years, and he was on 2 of my teams. And then I found out I knew he played for like the football team, but I'm like, oh, he just whatever.
Yeah.
And then he started at Michigan. Boo.
We both did that.
And I kind of watched him, and he was like, he's a long snapper, so I don't know how you can be good or bad. I don't know, you just throw the ball backwards. But so he did decent. They said he was really good, and then I was watching, and I saw like on Twitter or something he got drafted, so I like rewound it a little bit, and then Washington Redskins or Washington football team.
Jesus, you really did throw a racial slur out.
Almost, I caught myself. Went to the Washington football team, and I'm like, whoa, like I know that guy. So I was pretty pumped about that. So yeah, I know baseball players. I know more sports players, so more to come. Bengals got new uniforms. They are a different shade of orange with like it's not a huge.
Yeah.
I was kind of excited. I'm like, oh, new uniforms, and they're like a different color, orange.
I'm glad you're reasonable, and they're pretty similar to uniforms they had before. And everybody's like, yeah, that's the point. Like, but you guys went crazy for their last new uniforms, so glad you go crazy for those if you didn't want them to change. Well, no, we didn't like those uniforms anymore. You guys are turning into the fucking Browns with these uniforms. They just every 3 years they revert to something they had before, and everybody's like, oh.
Yeah. They got rid of one of the, I think, all orange or.
Yeah, I think that's.
Or maybe all black, or they got rid of one of them. I don't know, but I wanted the white tiger. It was they call it the white tiger uniform. It was the white uniform, which was cool, but they wanted to get a white helmet. Like they have the orange helmet with the white, but I want like a white helmet with the white thing, and that would look pretty sweet. Apparently, there's a rule saying like you can't have a different helmet than your jersey or something weird, so they won't do that. But
I only have one thing about football, so I guess I'll bring that up and you can continue because it goes into that.
Oh, you can go and then.
All right.
Because I'm about to go away from it.
The NFL announced today. Well, I don't think they've officially announced it, but it's one of those things where Adam Schefter and all the people are reporting it, so it's a matter of time until it's officially official. That teams are allowed to use an alternate helmet this year.
Oh.
And his tweet says for throwback uniforms, but then another article I saw said that you can have 2 different helmets. So I don't know if there's a rule like, wow, 2 for 2 with us. I don't know if he's right, if it's just when you wear your throwback uniform, you can wear a throwback helmet, or if you can alternate, like these are our 2 helmets for the season. I'm not really sure. I think it was actually the first episode of this show. Derek was talking about how he wished they had multiple helmets they could pick from. So it's kind of funny that the 3rd episode now that's actually happening. It's weird though, because I'm not sure if it is specific to throwback uniforms or what. Because I could have sworn the Broncos have worn different helmets. And I went and looked, and I know when they wear their Color Rush jersey, they have a different logo. Their helmet is still blue. I think that was the issue. I think you can have a different colored helmet. So their
Maybe.
design was different. But I don't know when this rule changed and how it changed. I'm going to ask Derek. I feel like he would know more.
Oh, definitely.
Because in 2009, I looked it up to at least see this. The Broncos wore some of the worst uniforms in NFL history. I don't know if you remember these. They were like...
I don't remember. Maybe I do, but...
Let me look them up here for you. I'll try and
Okay.
post a video here. Or a picture here. See what year they're from. Because to be fair, they are from fucking forever ago, so all the uniforms were trash back then. It looked terrible, but there's no excuse for these fucking things. So here is the throwback uniforms. This is the Broncos you're looking at right here.
Oh my god.
And see, that is not a blue helmet. That's completely different. There's no logo.
How is that
And
even? That's like some Padre stuff right there.
Uh-huh.
Like, what the heck?
And that's from 2009. So I don't know when this rule took place or what the exact rules are, because this makes no sense to me. And to be fair, these uniforms are from, I'm seeing it right here, the 1960s. So if you look at any uniforms back then, with the exception of a few that are all pretty ugly and dull, but still, there's no excuse to wear uniforms like that. And more so, I just want to figure out when these things took place and what the exact rules are, because I'm kind of confused now after thinking back on this and seeing these uniforms and thinking about the, because somebody else pointed out how now Color Rush uniforms, you can finally wear appropriate helmets with it. But I was like, the Broncos wore a different helmet, so I'm not sure. I don't know what the hell this rule even is anymore now.
I don't know.
But that was all I had with that, and I should look more up. So me and Derek probably talk about it next week. Maybe he'll have more to say about it. That's all you had about football, you said, right? Or you have more?
I have more.
Oh no, go for it.
It's gonna be a long show. Eli Manning is back in football. Did you hear about that?
No.
He's with the Giants. He's a business operator. He's in business operations and fan engagement. So he is in the front office and he's doing stuff for the Giants. I don't really know what. Maybe he's promoting the Giants. I don't know what. It just said business operations, so I don't know what exactly he does.
Mm-hmm.
But fan engagement, so probably like, I don't know, probably like, hey, let's root for the Giants.
I actually like Eli Manning a lot. I know a lot of people make fun of him, especially people like Peyton Manning, because they say Peyton Manning's better. I really like Eli Manning, but
Beat
even
Brady
with,
twice.
Yeah, that's even more reason to like him.
Yeah.
But even with liking him, I'll admit that he seems like the least exciting person I've ever seen, and seems so fucking dull. So that seems like a terrible position for him, but hopefully it works well.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I don't know what he does, but he is a Giant again in the front office. News from a few days ago. Carl Nassib is the first active player to come out as gay, and he actually has the highest selling jersey right now. I think it's because he came out, but it was two different things I saw. But made an Instagram live, and he's just like, I feel comfortable because everyone's doing it now apparently. So he good for him.
Yeah.
He plays for the Vegas Raiders.
No.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Well, that's not what I'm correcting. I guess Las Vegas, but
Oh.
it should be Oakland. It's some bullshit. And that's coming from a Broncos fan. But no, I saw that, and usually I don't like this kind of stuff, not because I don't like gay people, but because usually people do it to prove a point and to get preachy about shit. And I feel like people go out of their way, not even the people that like him that talk about it, but other people, to make themselves look better, will just talk about it nonstop and put other people down, which is kind of defeating the purpose of stuff like this. But I was actually going to bring this up as well, because I feel like this is one exception to it, because I feel like there hasn't been an NFL player, an active NFL player has done it. I know Michael Sam's done it, and
Did he retire? Or?
he was a 7th-round pick and never played a game.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of people are talking about how the NFL is racist because they won't acknowledge that the first openly gay player was black, and they're hiding it. I know that's why they're clarifying that it's an active player. It's not, of course, something. Even when you have something that it could be on your side, you gotta make it negative.
Yeah.
Which they're also doing with this. I don't know if you saw. They figured out he voted for Donald Trump.
Oh, really?
So there's a huge contingent of people that would be on his side that hate him, and I don't like Donald Trump. I didn't vote for him, but people should be able to think however the fuck they want. And
third party. Woo.
But in saying all that, I could see how hard something like this could be, where there's never been anybody's done it, and to be like, shit, I'm gonna be in the locker room with a ton of guys, and then play in the field with a ton of guys.
Yeah.
So I could see how that could be really hard. So I think it's cool that the reaction to it, aside from like I said, the obvious people that are just going to parade that to make themselves look better, but the actual NFL players that were talking to him and tweeting at him and stuff that you wouldn't expect to do stuff like that. That's what I thought was cool about it.
Yeah. But yeah. Same as you, like, companies do the rainbow logos, but they do it for just the month, and then they're like, oh, we don't think you guys exist. And so I think it's all political and stuff. Like, I support, but I don't like how stuff gets. Because actually, we're talking, I was at work today. They made LGBTQ Legos. And someone told me that, and I'm like, what is that? And I Googled it, and it looks like they're just rainbow Legos, but they don't have faces. They're just like hairstyles and stuff. So like, I'll show you. Like, I don't know.
I feel like that's just fucking Legos. That's what I did as a kid. I would just mix them and match them. Go, oh my god, look at this thing. Of course, you gotta do it to fucking prove a point, even though it's literally part of your brand is that you could do whatever you wanted with them.
Yeah, it's called Everyone is Awesome. It's like just like a rainbow.
Oh my god, it's terrible. No, and as I think Cody pointed out originally, but it's also very telling that they're doing that, because if you look at companies that are worldwide, like Bethesda, video game company, their Twitter, they have it in like 12 different countries, and they had a Pride logo. They changed their logo to a Pride logo in 10 of the countries, except the 2 that you can tell would not support Pride Month. They just kept those a regular Bethesda logo and didn't change it to Pride Month. If this was that important to you, that's the 2 places you should make sure you do it, because you're like, these 2 are the ones that hate on it the most. So if you don't like it, that's on you. But you don't actually care about it enough to actually push through with it, because you're not actually caring about the cause at all.
Yeah. Welcome to America. Your opinion doesn't matter. Have an opinion, you get yelled at.
Yep.
Well, Tim
Fuck
Tebow.
you.
Oh.
Sorry.
I was so surprised. Like, wait, what? Tim Tebow. He's making a comeback. He's a tight end for the Jags.
Yeah.
Woo, the not baseball player, Tim Tebow, that played for the Mets.
Yeah, we talked about that a couple times on here. Yeah, it's sad because we do a pick'em league every year, and that's what you just referenced. I've had it for like probably 5 years now. The name is Tim Tebow, the MLB player, because he's in minor league baseball, but I think it's pretty obviously probably going to make it to the major leagues. Yeah. I like him, so I thought it would have been cool, but I think it was pretty obvious it wasn't going to happen.
I feel like he probably could. Like, he did pretty. Yeah, I mean, he didn't he wasn't no Fernando Tatis Jr., but yeah, he was good. He could have made it eventually.
I don't know. I think if he made it, it would have just been a publicity stunt to get more tickets.
Probably.
He wasn't terrible, but I think MLB is a whole nother level. So
that's it on football. So you're up, or if you.
No, that's all I had for football.
I don't know what the next sport is, but
soccer would be next.
Soccer? All
that's
right. My longest one ever.
Ever on the first show.
Already. I went to school. I almost went to school with Will Trapp. That's it. I'm done.
Oh, it was sarcastic. I was like,
Sarcastic, yeah, and I don't know.
that's why I would have guessed. I was like, holy shit, all right, if you have
I
that
don't
much ready
know.
for soccer.
Yeah, I don't know the crew well. No, I think baseball is actually my legit longest.
Yeah, that's what I
But
expected.
yeah, I mean, I watch I watch the like World Cup and Olympics, and I think the women or no, those are friendlies. Never mind. But yeah, watch that. But yeah, Will Trapp for the. I think he plays for Miami now. But when he played for the crew,
Minnesota now. He did
oh
it for Miami
Minnesota,
in between there, so
he went.
you're not
But
completely wrong.
maybe like 1 year, I think. I think 1 year I was off from going to school with him.
Okay.
And then he married a was a student teacher, substitute teacher. He married like a Gahanna teacher.
Yeah.
So makes you wonder, like, I don't know, be like, I don't know, I don't like thinking about that. That's weird. Like, like that's your like, he married a teacher, like, and it was like his teacher, not like, oh, I'm marrying you and you want to become a teacher. You like, it was his teacher. Like, I'm pretty sure it was his teacher, but yeah, Will Trapp. I saw my cousin was playing a soccer game and he was there signing autographs, and I'm like, oh, plays for the crew.
Yeah, he used to come into the theater pretty often.
Oh, really?
He's always super nice and really down to earth. Even when sometimes he had some douchebags friends come with him, and they'd like hype him up and try and make him douchey, and he'd just like shut him up and act normal, and that's like that makes him like him more.
Yeah.
That you know,
Did
yeah,
you
you know who I
picture
am.
with him or autograph, like anything, or just like
No, I didn't. Not because I was trying to play it cool or anything. He came in so much that it was kind of just like, oh, there he is again. And it was cool to see him, but it was like, holy shit, he's here, and then never saw him again. He just came in somewhat often, so I was like, oh, there he is again. It's kind of cool to see him.
Yeah.
But last time we talked on here, the crew were in 6th place in the Eastern Conference and played 7 games, 3-2-2, 3 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses, which is good for 11 points. You get a point for a draw, 3 points for a win, and I would say no points for a loss. And they played 2 games since then. They're at 4-2-3 with 14 points, which is 5th place in the East, so moved up 1 spot. And
Sweet.
one of the games, the first one they played since then, was a 2-0 win against Chicago, and I went to that game. It was a final game in Crew Stadium, and it was fucking awesome. The game was completely sold out, over 20,000 people there.
That's good.
I was in the Nordeck, which is like the crazy supporter section. If you haven't been to a Crew game, that's the section to go to. That'll get you into soccer.
Really? I want to go.
We'll do it. And the new stadium, I think it's about to be fucking crazy. The Crew fans have always been energetic, especially the Nordeck. That's why you sit there or stand there. You can't usually sit, but which is great. But what made this different was that everybody knows that's a crazy section, so everything around that, like the rest of the stadium, is usually like the more calm section. They sit there and then they'll cheer when they get goals, but that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
But this game had a completely different feel to it. It felt like the entire stadium was the Nordeck, and everybody was doing the chants. And at the end of it, they always sing "Can't Help Falling in Love," and the entire stadium was doing it. And it sounds corny, but it's true. It gave me chills. This is fucking awesome. And I think part of it was imagine that in the new stadium, and they don't have a roof, but it's half covered, so all the seats will be covered, which will be nice for the conditions with weather-wise. But also it's going to help trap the sound in there. So I think it's about to be real fucking cool. Crazy, and the energy from being downtown. And
I saw the video. They did like a Facebook video. They did a time lapse of the game.
Oh,
So like early in the morning, and showed like everyone coming in and the fireworks, and then another video was what everyone was singing, and I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Having everyone together, and
yeah, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
There's definitely been a rebirth of more energy in the Crew since everything happened with the Save the Crew, and I've gotten more into it. I've liked the Crew for a while, but that definitely got me more into it. But even with those games, when the energy and how pissed off they were and everything, I still never felt anything like I did that game, and it was so fucking cool. But completely sold out the entire stadium, and they won 2-0 against Chicago, which is the exact same score they opened that stadium with. They beat New England
cool.
2-0. Yeah, so all of it seems, I don't think it's actually scripted. I'm not a conspiracy theorist guy, as you know, but it seems like if you were, that's just the team almost gets taken away, and then they're saved to win the championship. and then they open their new stadium. But before they do, they win the exact same score they did when they opened the stadium. That's what
Was it
this
the
all
same
seems.
team or just?
No,
Oh,
it
that'd be,
is.
really cool. If it,
Yeah, that would have been.
It's so cool that it was the same score, but
Yeah, they do play the same team. This was obviously intentional by the league, I'd imagine. But they play New England to open the new stadium. And I'm sure that was intentional. This is the same teams that opened your stadium last time. But that'd be extra crazy to win that 2-0. Then that'd just be a little too creepy.
that'd be conspiracy right there.
They followed that up, unfortunately, with a 1-0 loss to Philadelphia last night. But still, like I said, they moved up one spot overall since the last episode. I don't like this thing that Google is doing. Let me show you this, Trevor. I don't know what the hell happened with them. I thought it was a glitch. You see the crew logo there, right?
Yeah.
Now look what Google does to it.
What the heck?
And that's not a alternate logo the crew have or anything. That's
Do
just
they
how they
tap on it, or is it just?
it just gets
there?
bigger and stays that way.
That's so weird.
Yeah, I don't know where the hell it's coming from. I don't know if it's reacting to the Nashville logo right underneath it that is yellow and black until they ripped off the crew. But if anything, you'd think they would change Nashville since they've been in the league for 1 year and the crew has started the entire fucking league.
Oh. Like the Reds.
Yeah,
Reds started
exactly.
Look at Ohio.
And you might not know this. Do you know Columbus started professional football as well? And we don't even
I
have
did
an
not know
NFL
that.
team. We have 2 NFL teams in the state and neither in the fucking city that the entire professional sport started in.
Did not know that.
Yeah, it was probably the 1800s. I'd have to look that up. But it was the Columbus Panhandles, which tells you how old it is with a name like that.
Panhandle.
Yeah. And they were the first professional football team in America. And
What's a panhandle? Like a.
that's why you can tell how fucking old it is. Panhandling is like somebody that, like a homeless man begging for money. He's panhandling. That's what that is. So
That can be Cleveland's new.
Yeah.
Indians. That can be the new team. Cleveland Panhandlers.
Well, now that you bring that up, before we continue soccer, do you think there's a good name for the Cleveland? I'll say.
For the Cleveland.
I was gonna say the word, but even though they say every 2 fucking seconds still.
I don't know. I mean, I like the hockey team, the Erie. Was it Erie Monsters? That'd
Yeah,
been cool.
they changed that to Cleveland Monsters, make it a little more lame.
I saw. I feel like I know you hate spiders, but I feel like spiders would be like a really cool. I don't know. It's like you don't see like. I don't know. You just don't see like. Native American.
The Panhandles, I was just off. They started in 1901. They were founded in 1901 and then folded in 1926. So they played for 25 years too, which is like crazy. It's been gone for 95 years now. The crazy part is that we don't have an NFL team. And the fucking Browns got
crazy.
2, or Cleveland got 2, and Cincinnati got 1.
Should we wait on the Indians to get the baseball, or should we just go?
We can
now,
do that
or-
if you want. You can think about it for a minute.
Cool. I mean, I found top names were the Spiders and the Crows, but I feel like Crows wouldn't be a good because the Jim Crow laws.
Actually, that's all I have about soccer, so let's get into baseball.
All right. We'll just start on that. I'm looking up what Cleveland Blue Sox. No, we're not doing that. Cleveland Great Lakers. That sounds awful. Cleveland Unions.
Yeah, it sounds like a single A baseball. The Great Lakers.
Cleveland Blues.
I think that's a hockey team.
Yeah. Cleveland Castles.
Everybody knows Cleveland, known for castles.
Cleveland Burning River.
I'd be support that one. That's awesome.
Cleveland Buckeyes.
No, I still don't think the Ohio State would let that happen.
The Cleveland Dobbies. Named after
The elf from Harry Potter.
that'd be cool, but no, it is after Larry Dobbie, who is the first AL American League black player.
Hmm.
So they'd be naming it after him.
Doesn't sound like a baseball team name though. Sounds like a human name, like it is.
Dobbies.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But then, they named the Redskins after a Native American, and everyone thought that was terrible, even though the guy's like, I don't care. So that's probably going to get changed. Cleveland Naps. There just isn't Cleveland Rockers. Oh, that'd be cool. Because Cleveland has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so they could be the Cleveland Rockers.
Isn't that too close to Rockies, though? I know it's a completely different thing, but name-wise, isn't that too close?
Probably. That's it. All these names are terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I wish they just didn't get rid of. Because I mean, the Braves are still there, the Chiefs are still there, but
It's
like,
a matter of time.
I mean, just do Native Americans and then you'll be fine. 'Cause that's the
Cleveland
official
Native
term.
American?
Cleveland Native Americans.
That's
The Cleveland Americans.
fucking
Cleveland Natives.
I think, I don't know if you heard it, I said on here, I think a good compromise, they're not going to do it because they're going to try and get as far away as they can from the name, but I think the Cleveland Tribe would be a good name because everybody already calls them that as a nickname.
Oh yeah, Go
But-
Tribe. That'd be cool.
They're going to stay as far away as they can from anything like that.
Yeah.
And if I'm trying to be objective and not just my opinion, I think the Spiders is a cool name if you're not terrified of them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I really don't think they're going to do it. Not because of me personally, but that's such a common fear that I feel like that eliminates so many people, so many potential fans, and so much fear. Because you know if they have that, they're going to have all these crazy animations at the game, like spiders coming down.
The
And,
mascots. gonna
yeah,
be-
so I don't think they're going to do that. Even though, like, subjectively, my opinion aside, I think it'd be a cool name. But I can't see them. I think that's a PR nightmare, and different kind of PR nightmare than they're in right now, obviously. But
Oh yeah. There should be more water animals, like the Cleveland whales. You have Miami Dolphins. You have the Marlins.
yeah, what kind of
But
water creatures are around Cleveland? 'Cause none of those
Fish.
are
Atlantic cod,
Cleveland fish.
the Cleveland cods.
Then you could get a multi-branding with Call of Duty and have Call of Duty night for COD.
Ooh,
There you go. Look at that.
play Call of Duty on the big screen. That'd be cool. I would go to Cleveland for that. I'm not really good at names. Just kind of, I don't know. Think of like, the Rockers. I get about the Rockies, but like the Rockers would be legit because it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is in Cleveland. But I don't really know what's there though. Like Lake Erie, but like there's a Erie Monsters. But yeah, I don't know.
If
What
they
do you
do the,
think?
like I said, I think the Tribe is the most compromising and without getting away from what they're going to do, but I don't think they're going to do that. I really don't know what they're actually going to do. I don't think for a second they're going to or can do the Buckeyes. I don't think Ohio State's going to let that fly. They have too much power in the entire
Oh,
state.
definitely. They control this. Like
Yeah.
they're the sports team because they're good and everyone else sucks. Like
And if they do the Blue Sox, that's the most boring thing when there's already two Sox in the league. And that's already not a great name to begin with, I don't think, either of them. Spiders, I can't see them doing for the reasons I said. If they do, I'd actually be okay with that because that give me more fire hate Cleveland than I already do.
mhm.
So I really have no clue what they're going to do. If they really do stick with Cleveland baseball team, that's worse than even the Spiders because they're just fucking pussies and can't commit to anything and just think they're like a European football team or something, as in soccer. Like, oh yeah, it's just classy. We're the
The
Cleveland baseball team. Yeah.
Well, wait. If we're talking about Washington, the Washington football team, what do you think their new name? 'Cause they're talking about back to football. With like they have like a bunch of. They actually have some cool names. Like they have a list. Like the Red Tails, like the African American plane. Like that'd be Washington. That'd be cool. Then they have like Ace. I think Aces, and they had like a really cool like games. But I don't think like the Cleveland Aces. I don't know. Washington Aces sound better than Cleveland Aces and Cleveland Red Tails. Washington, like, I don't know. Washington just fits better with a bunch of stuff, but Cleveland, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't have the list in front of me. I do remember seeing that and seeing some cool ones. Again, I think they're probably going to stay far away from anything red. I think they're going to do the same thing I think Cleveland will do, but they don't want anything to be compared to that.
Yeah.
There's rumors that they might stick with the Washington football team, which, again, same theory applies to that does with Cleveland. It's not just 'cause I hate Cleveland. That'd be terrible. I think the Red Wolves, I saw that one. That was okay. I said I don't think they're gonna stick with anything red, but my personal opinion, I think that one's cool. Red Tails isn't terrible. I'm gonna say tailable. Um,
Terrible.
Aces, I don't think is bad, but that sounds more like XFL or AFL or something. It sounds like a name for like a minor league football or semi-pro football. I think I know I just gonna contradict myself here because I said I'm pretty sure it's a hockey team when you said Blues, but I think the Washington
Tails.
Warriors would be. Yeah, I think Washington Warriors would be really cool. I've heard
that'd
that
be
one,
cool.
and I
That'd be
feel like
fun.
Warriors is such a more generic term that I think that wouldn't seem like they were ripping off Golden State. I feel like the Blues in St. Louis, there's nothing besides obviously the music, but I'm saying I don't feel like it's such a well-known term. I think it would just seem kind of odd to have another Blues in sports. I think Warriors, you just like that seems like a sports name.
Yeah. Well, Washington, just looking a few days ago, Washington was denied to trademark the Washington football team. So the Cleveland could just be like, I want to be the Cleveland football team, and they can do it because, or baseball team, because, or the Bengals can be the Cincinnati football team because they don't have trademark rights now. That was off. Those are going away. All the names. Aces, ambassadors, anchors, archers, armadas, aviators, beacons, belters, brigade, commanders, Cleveland Commanders. Boom. I like that. Do it. Like Cobra Commander from J. Defenders, Demon Cats, the Washington Demon Cats. First City Football Club, football
God.
team, the Cleveland Griffins. Support it. Cleveland Guardians. Have a gargoyle. Oh, I like
Yeah,
that.
see, so many of these names, even the cool ones
Icons.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Majors, monarchs, pilots, presidents. Razorback, the Cleveland Razorback.
it's also
Red Tails. Oh, here's all the reds. Red Tails, Red Wolves, Red Hogs, Renegades, Riders, Rising, Royals, Rubies, Whiffs.
ooh. Get Taylor to
Yeah.
open up for him.
Ooh. She can be the opening. Like Carrie Underwood does the Sunday Night Football. You can't
And she could be the mascot. They don't even have to pay somebody. She could just be at the game.
Perfect. Warriors, Washington D.C. Football Club,
Oh my God.
Washington Capital City Football Club, Wayfarers, Wild Hogs, 32 FC. I don't know what that means, but
That's the most European fucking thing ever because there's 32 teams in NFL, so they'd be, and they're not the 32nd team anyway. So I don't know why the fuck do you do that, but I think they're pretty early in the NFL actually.
yeah, but I like Cleveland Guardians or the Cleveland Griffins. I think
Can't
Commanders too.
can't do the Griffins. That's too much of a fucking meme.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because I feel like Peter Griffin and Cleveland. I feel like that's
Oh yeah.
and then yeah, even the cool ones like the Guardians or I think Brigade is cool. There's a lot of cool ones, but I feel like all those have been used in semi-pro football, so they just sound like not as professional to me.
Was XFL
Yeah.
from New York.
And you said Defenders, that's XFL. Brigade's been in the AFL multiple times, so
Yeah, I don't know. It's not my job to do it, so good luck to whoever makes the team name.
I think for this new helmet rule, Washington should change their name to something least offensive as possible and then have a throwback night where they have their Redskins uniforms on. Hey, this is our history. And just roll with it.
They
I
get
saw.
canceled.
Yeah.
31 teams in NFL.
Yeah, 31 FC. I saw somebody make a great joke about how the Ravens should break out their throwback uniform against the Browns and their
Beat the
throwback.
Browns.
Yeah, so that'd be fucking awesome. Like
the
some now of a comedy movie that nobody knows about, and they come running out on the field, and everybody's booing. Wait, what's happening? And there's two Browns on the field, which sounds like a very, like I'm just being very racist, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Back on baseball officially.
That's right.
Okay. So, the All-Star game is in Colorado this year because of MLB involving themselves in politics, and I don't even know what the law was, but Atlanta did some voting thing, and I didn't understand. I read it, but I didn't understand what they were saying. But apparently, it was offensive. The voting laws were offensive to somebody. So then the major league was like, "Well, if we're gonna pull out of Atlanta, now they're in Colorado." The logo looks cool though. It's like I like Colorado's color scheme, like black and purple. Just I don't know, something. But,
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna move on so you can say.
Okay. I am not gonna act like I know now. I looked at the time. No, it was something to do with transgendered voting rights, which that should be a different argument in itself. That should have nothing to do with baseball. And even if people would probably make the argument that baseball is doing that to protect them, like, all right, well, if you're going to do that, then you're going to lose all this income that your city and state is going to get. And so they're helping us out. They're sending a message. But kind of like we talked about with Bethesda or any of these giant companies, how they'll support it where it fits best and not in other places. The MLB will like to do that and yank that away and take that profit away from the city and state and still get all that profit as a league from moving to Colorado. But the thing they won't do is move the team out of Atlanta because they don't actually give two shits about that. It just looks good marketing-wise. Otherwise, they wouldn't let Atlanta keep a team. If you really cared about that much, you'd be like, all right, well, you don't have a team anymore. But they're like, well, we can get this to make it look good for us, get income from that, move to Colorado and still get income. And you guys are definitely keeping the Braves because that makes us a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that whole thing was total bullshit.
I think the Braves were like, or the city of Atlanta, like suing the MLB or something because they lost like a lot of tourism money and hotels and
especially
tickets, and
that would have been prime time for everybody traveling again now, and that definitely would have been sold out and a crazy income for the city and state.
Oh yeah. And
they were already investing a ton of it in the city itself. They had signs everywhere and had to take stuff down and had all kinds of stuff ready for it already.
Yeah. But phase 1 of voting ended today at 4 p.m. So now we're on phase 2. So the top 3 position players and top 9 outfielders will be, I haven't looked yet who made it in, but the top whoever will go to the next round and then vote again for those people, so you don't get the write-in votes or anything. It's just whoever made it in. So yeah, so June 8th starts not June 8th, my bad. June 28th.
Oh, okay.
June 28th, which is Monday. I'll start phase 2 from 2 o'clock to Thursday, July 1st. Doesn't say a time, but July 1st. And then that'll help. So everyone should go out. It is your duty to vote. Every vote matters. Go out to MLB.com.
Go out.
And go out. Just pull out your phones and vote for the Reds. Because actually, I only voted for like 2 Reds because when I vote, I'm legit. Like, I respect like Votto, but there's like 20 billion like our first basemen that are better than him. But you hear about him and the that 6-year-old girl or whatever?
Yeah,
I thought that was cool. Like for those who don't know, Joey Votto, which is the Reds first baseman, great guy, fun guy. He had a fan. Like, she was 6 years or I want to look at the camera, but like you're not supposed to.
Well, I don't care.
He had a fan, a 6-year-old fan. I think she was 6. She was young.
Yeah.
And she came for him. It's like a Reds fan in San Diego, and he gets ejected in the first inning for calling. I don't even know why he was arguing because I watched a replay and it was a check swing, but he went all the way around, and he argued that he didn't. And I'm like, yes, you did. But anyways, so he got ejected in the first inning. So the girl's really sad because she came to see Votto. So the mom tweeted to the Reds, was like, hey, this child's crying. So the Reds are like, oh, we'll do all this for you. And then Votto sent her a ball and was like, sorry for not playing the full game. And then I don't know if it was the next day. He bought them tickets to the game. So they came back the next day and he was playing. and they were like right on the dugout, and he like signed another thing for her, and they took a picture, and he like talked to her and stuff. I'm like, that's cool, huh? That's Joey Votto.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. I know a lot of non-Reds fan thinks he's really douchey, which I never really understood. I definitely get hating him as a sports fan because he's so good that if you're on the opposite team, I get why you'd hate him for that, but I don't get how you think he's douchey at all.
Yeah, like I mean Trevor Bauer, like I get that. Nick Castellanos, I get that. But like, I mean Votto just argues. Like he likes to be heard, and then he just tells bad things to the umpire, and the umpire doesn't like it.
And he's fucking hilarious, and he's super likable if you ever watch anything with him. And
he's funny. He
yeah.
did while he was his broken thumb, he did radio. I think it was play-by-play or color. I don't know, one of those. But he did it was in the booth, and then he like did a few things, and I'm like, he's great. I hope he retires, or not soon, but I hope when he retires, he does like broadcasting or something.
Yeah.
Replace the new guy. I don't like the new guy.
No.
The one that replaced I guess I haven't heard him in a while, but when he first started, he just seemed super excited for nerd. Like, I mean, baseball's exciting. It can be, but he'd just be like one hit, like both sides. He'd be like one hit and be like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, the base hit happens. Like,
yeah,
I just feel like he probably calmed down now because he's experienced. But I feel like when he first started, I don't know.
No, he's still the same way. I'm not gonna have to get knew him before, but when he got hired, I started looking up, and that seems like his style. But I'm somewhere kind of in the middle because I think a lot of baseball announcers are so dull, and I think non-baseball fans, it's harder to get into it because if the announcer sounds bored, then they're going to go, this is so boring. So I would think it kind of helps the sport for those kind of people to hear somebody that sounds so into it. So it can.
All the announcers are old.
Yeah.
Like, the announcers are. But because Marty retired, he was pretty old. His son Tom got. Yeah, so he's in Mexico now. He does Mexico. Tom Brennan.
Matter of time until he says some slur there.
Probably will. Or they dig up his past and they're like, hey, can't be here. But I guess if it's Mexico, then it wouldn't. Because that term doesn't translate.
Yeah.
I don't think. So I don't think it would matter. I don't know how. Yeah, he's in the Mexican League now. He does baseball for that. Nick Castellanos and Jesse Winker are second and third. I think you said that last time, but they're still at the same spot.
Yeah, fucking crazy for batting average.
Yeah, they lead. I think they led. They were 1 and 2, but they lead for all outfielders. They're second and third. Second and third, and the outfielders. So the only person above them is Acuna Jr., who's amazing. And then right now they're the only Reds that are in a good spot. I think Votto was 9th or 5th. Barnhart was up there, but a lot of them because everyone's hurt. Moustakas is hurt.
Yeah.
But Fernando Tatis Jr. leads NL shortstops 500,000 votes. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr. leads MLB, all of MLB in votes with 857,956 votes. So he has the most out of everybody. And these people are Fernando's Reggie is 22, so he's my age. And he's this crazy dude. Yeah. And then Vladimir Guerrero is 20. And he's over here blasting they're crazy. It's crazy when you get older, and then you start realizing that these players are your age, and they're you're over here I'm working at a movie theater and making 10 an hour, and these people are blasting home runs. They're making $32 million. Actually, I'm pretty sure they don't make that much, but that's Bryce Harper and Machado make $32 million for 13 years. That's great. I couldn't do a 13-year contract, but so yeah. Starting Monday, they crack down on foreign substances, and no one likes that. Have you seen all the?
Oh yeah.
They're you have to check the hat, the belt, and the glove. So these players will take off their belt and drop their I think like an adult site like said we'll pay you like 100,000 to like pull down your like something like weird like pulling down your pants like as they're checking or something like that. But it's like Sergio Romo, he did that, and I think Scherzer did that too because he had to be checked like 3 times.
Yeah.
Because he's amazing at pitching, and then everyone's like, oh he's good, so we're gonna. Joe Girardi's like I'm gonna check him. Then they got into a fight, and then that was fun. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's dumb. I mean, I guess if it's both sides. Like, I think like, I mean, if both sides do it, then who cares if it's cheating? Because both sides are doing it. But if one person's doing it and the other side isn't, then it is. But like, I mean, imagine being like a 10-year-old, like watching your first baseball game, and you don't understand what's happening, and then the umpires come up and check this guy like every like 5 minutes or whatever,
Yeah.
and you're like, yo, like, hey dad, like what's happening? Oh, they're just making sure they're not cheating. Like that would like ruin my vision of baseball. I'd be like, oh, so there's cheaters, so they're checking the cheaters, and because I think you can put someone in the dugout and just check them before you go out, because it's the starters, it's before they pitch, and closers and relievers is like after they pitch. So, but I don't know. I just think I don't know. I think like there's two sides. Like I get why they don't want to do it, but I don't know. I just think there's a better way to handle it than just check them in the middle. I mean, it's like between innings, so it's not disrupting everything. But I know everyone hates it, so.
Yeah, and I think something that people aren't talking enough about, the MLB does everything they can to fucking shorten games. I think to the point where they've gone way too far with like the somebody starting on second base, what they were trying.
Oh yeah, I guess if I'm watching a game, I like it. If I'm present, because if I pay like the $11 or whatever we pay for, but like if they go in extra inning, that's more baseball. Like I'm getting more than what I paid for.
Oh, for sure. And
but I also don't want to be there for like 5 hours. But.
I was gonna say I can see all sides, but I think I'll get to that at the end. I think for me personally, and I think for a lot of traditional baseball fans or people who have liked baseball for a long time, I'm not like putting myself on a pedestal. I just have liked baseball for a long time. I think it's what we grew up with. That was what made the game exciting. That you didn't know when the ending was, and that's what made it different than literally any other sport. Is that it could, in all reality, go forever. I was just not gonna, but you know what I'm saying?
Because you get tie.
Yeah.
It goes. Like, there's games that went on, like, 18 innings or whatever, or going to start at, like, 4 o'clock and went on till 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Like, those are the good games because it's a duel.
I can't remember exactly, so I don't want to make it up, but there's something close to it. The first game I ever took Danielle to when we first started dating was a Reds game. And it was the longest Red game I ever been to. I think it was 18 innings. We went at 7 o'clock and didn't leave till after like 3 in the morning. And it wasn't sold out.
Drive back.
Yeah. It wasn't sold out, but it was a decent crowd, probably like half full, so like 20,000 people. And by the end, there was probably 1,000 of us. But it was actually really cool. It was so cool to see everybody like dwindling away. Like, okay, I can't last anymore. So getting back to that, I get the argument of people have lives to live, people have kids, people have work. There's things you can't help. But I think at the end of the day, or people just don't care about baseball enough that they don't want to stay that long. I think at the end of the day, if you really don't care about baseball that much, then you don't care what the final outcome of the game is anyways. So you shouldn't care if you don't get to see the whole game. And unless you do have something like a kid, work, something you have to leave for, I think that still applies even if you like baseball. If you're not willing to sit there for all of it, even if it does go that long, then you obviously didn't care to see the outcome, which doesn't make you a fake fan or anything. But I feel like it's kind of changing the rule to try and get more fans that those fans don't really exist and aren't fans of the game. You're trying to get an audience that isn't there and isn't going to be there. And I think in doing that, you're ruining the one thing that baseball does have over other sports, is that its uniqueness is that it doesn't have a time limit. I feel like you're just trying to slowly take that away. And that was what I was getting to with the glove. I feel like you're talking about how they do in between innings, but as we're seeing, it still slows it down because there's arguments. They have to check things multiple times, and then that leaks into what would be the next inning. And baseball thinks that's perfectly fine because they think it's worth it. But
yeah, Manfred's like, oh, this is fantastic, and all these pitchers are like, this is so dumb. And then it's like, because all I have to do is like, if I don't like a pitcher, or if you have like Clayton Kershaw, Max Scherzer, Yu Dart, like all these players, like I can be like, oh, I think he's doing something, and then it could be wrong, but you're like, oh, he's good, I want to slow him down or whatever, mess him up, get into his head, and be like, hey, go check him, and they'll go, and it'll be like, it's annoying, and he'll get mad, but then he said he heard about the Max Scherzer and Joe Girardi. He's like, oh, there's gonna be issues, but it'll be fine. And I'm like, well, if you get enough players that like complain, then it's not gonna work out, or a bunch of people are gonna complain and stuff. But yeah, it's every day.
yeah, so I get it, and I want the game to be fair, and I don't want cheating, so I get it. But
Astro.
yeah, but yeah, at the same time, like you just said, he's like, well, yeah, it's worth it. It's a good thing. But then any other point of literally anything that extends time of a baseball game, they're like, we need to get rid of it. They're like, all right, let's experiment a clock count for pitching. Let's limit mound visits. Let's talk about somebody on extra innings. Do anything they can to shorten it. Yeah, all these fucking rules. And speaking of Rob Manfred, he's a terrible commissioner. I'm not somebody that
definitely.
I know everybody. It's kind of like a boss, a job. He's the highest up, so everybody it's the easiest to pick on him. I think Roger Goodell, I think he has some dumb moments, and I think he's a little awkward. I think he's been a good commissioner. I'm not somebody who just always says that. But I think Rob Manfred's terrible. I think Don Garber, the commissioner of the MLS, is just a true piece of shit. Not just does a bad job, but he's a fucking terrible person. But I think, like I said, I'm not somebody that just all of them are bad. So I think it's pretty clear when somebody is bad like this. Makes it stand out more. We'll see what happens, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I won't like him until Pete Rose becomes a Hall of Famer. So until that day, I hate him.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever said that on here, but that's probably still the biggest crime in baseball. That Pete Rose isn't in baseball. For people who don't know, the all-time leader in hits in baseball history and MLB history.
Not anymore. Ichiro Suzuki actually beat it.
Are you sure?
Well, there's a thing because he came from a Japan league.
Yeah.
So they said he did, but people are saying we don't know because Pete Rose says like I guess they like or something about Japanese. I forget what he said, but they combined his Japanese hits with his major league hits. So they said, oh, he does, but if you take it just America, then no, he hasn't. But
yeah, I don't think that really makes sense. You wouldn't like Kurt Warner's stats. He started in the AFL. For people who don't know, I don't think that his stats get wrapped up into his NFL Hall of Fame or his NFL career. That doesn't really make sense to me. And that's professional football still. That's not college or anything. But even if he is second, which like I said, I still think he'd be first, but even if you want to call him second, the fact that somebody that high up and had a batting average for his career well over 300, which is ridiculous to have that for an entire year, let alone your entire career, to not be in the Hall of Fame is fucking bonkers. And for people that don't know, he's not in the Hall of Fame because he bet on baseball as a manager of the Reds. And
he betted on the Reds too. Like,
that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that's the craziest part. I would get the argument more if he bet against the Reds because that literally ruined the integrity of the game. Like he could have just thrown all those games just to make money. And to be fair, I get that it's still against the rules, even though he's betting for the Reds because that gives him extra motivation to try even harder. But still, the team has to win. You can't just make a team win. But still, it's against the rules, so it's against the rules. But that should be like a fine, a suspension, something, not a lifetime
ban.
Yeah, from
He's been
baseball
reinstated
altogether.
too, but like he hasn't done anything that's like he just sits there and then he applies. Here it says Ichiro is like 25th all time. Heroes is first.
Yeah, I thought he had it by a pretty wide
So,
margin, and he does in a lot of categories. That's why
yeah. Oh, it's crazy. Like the nearest, the next current player is Albert Pujols, who is 13th, but he still has like 1,000 something hits, and he's gonna retire soon. I just feel it.
Oh yeah, for
And
sure.
then and then no current player. Miguel Cabrera. He's 41st. So yeah, like no one's current players aren't even close to his level, and Cabrera won't get there.
And it's crazy. I obviously never got to see Pete Rose play while I was alive because he retired in '86. But he started in 1963 at 22 and retired in 1986 at 45, which is bonkers. And the reason I point that out, he has all these crazy stats, but what made it more impressive, I didn't get to see it when I was alive. I've seen plenty of highlights since then being a Reds fan, and my dad was or is a Reds fan, so that's why I know so much about him. Is if you see his playing style, he's somebody that broadcasters now would talk about how if they play that way for a couple seasons, they might not be in the league for very long because his playing style was so reckless and
Oh yeah, he had
would not fly today.
head first slides, but he would like run into players, and there's a painting somewhere of his slides everywhere. Third base.
Yeah, so makes it those stats even more impressive that he was that kind of player, not like a diva or like never got touched or anything. He was like the player that you'd think would like just scrape by and barely stay in the major leagues with how he played.
Yeah. What's next? That. Going to Derek's favorite team, the Mariners. I actually went to high school with their first baseman, Evan White. He went to Gahanna, and I actually did baseball conditioning. We did school ball. I got cut because it's political in high school. Because if you know the coach, then you're on the team. But
Right.
but yeah, he was a senior and I was a freshman, and he taught me some like not crazy, but like he taught me some stuff, and then didn't really think about it. I'm just like, all right, he's teaching me, that was nice, and used what he taught me and used it for my other teams, and then and then he played for like Kentucky, so I'm like, oh, well, that's cool. Like I know people in college right now. I know someone on the first baseman on the Ole Miss team, but and then one of my other friends went to high school with, he posted on Twitter that because I don't watch the MLB draft because these players don't start, so they'll stay in the league for 5 years before they go to the majors, but they're like, Evan White got drafted, and I'm like, what? I'm like, I know that guy, and of course it took him a while, but then during COVID they said he's projected to start first base, and I'm like, that's cool, and then he did, and he was he won a Gold Glove. And he was nominated for a Platinum Glove, but he lost that. But the person who won was like, I forget who won, but he was way good. So, but yeah, I went to high school with first baseman.
Very nice.
And then let's see. Good. The Reds beat the Braves today. Breaking news.
Right.
Breaking news. Ooh. Another breaking news. You guys were talking about no hitters. There's like 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Here's number 6. Cubs no hit the Dodgers.
Oh,
it's
like
the Dodgers.
It's over though.
Crazy. It's over.
Okay. Really?
Final.
Was it one pitcher or the whole team?
Oh, I actually think. Zach Davies, 3 relievers combined for MLB's 7th no hitter. I hate when people do. I mean, I get pitch count and stuff, but when you're throwing a no hitter and get pulled, like why? Like
yeah.
But and there's the. I just got the. But I'm gonna count that. So now we have 6. Ooh, breaking news for hockey. We're on baseball. They didn't play today. The Mariners. They are 3rd in the West. They're 39 and 37, so they are they're over 500, 513. They're under the Oakland A's and the Astros, so good teams. Good teams. Astros suck, but trash can. The Reds are third place. They're one game over 500, 37. They're 2 games above the Cardinals, so I'm very happy about that. The Cardinals are, I mean, I don't cheer for the division rivals, but the Cardinals I just hate with a passion. Like, I mean, if the Reds play the Pirates, I'm like, okay, like, I hope they win. But, like, when the Reds play the Cardinals, I'm like, I hope they just annihilate them. Because it all started with the Brandon Phillips, Yadier. He's my favorite player, is Brandon Phillips. That fight with Yadier Molina. I watched that live, and I'm like, that dude, like, he tapped he tapped on his like shin, and then for those you don't know, he tapped on his shin, like literally walked up behind him, tapped on Brandon Phillips tapped on Molina's like shin guard, like as a hello, and then he like gets in the back, and Molina just goes off, like he just starts going off, and Phillips is just like, what's your problem, like, and then so they're arguing back and forth, and then gets into fist fights, and then someone was stupid and pinned Cueto to the thing. So he starts bicycle kicking people in the face. Like, you're wearing cleats, like metal cleats, and he kicks you in that's gonna hurt. So I think he got suspended for a few games, but
he did.
But yeah, and Scott Rowland played the. I missed the 2010 Reds. They were playing during COVID. They were playing, and when they made the playoffs, they were so good. Dodgers aren't first place. Padres aren't first place. Very surprising because they're like the West is just. Is that the thing? The Reds play the AL East, who actually suck. All of them. Like, the Reds are in third place, and they're 1 game under the first place, the Mets. So like, that's not really good. And then they play the NL West, which the Giants are good now. The Dodgers are good. The Padres are good. The Rockies are okay. Diamondbacks, but it's crazy. Like, just teams are actually, most of them are actually the same. But at the beginning, it was pretty crazy. Okay. Drop my note. That dropped them. Baltimore Orioles. They are so bad with money that their minor league team couldn't afford a hotel. Like, they actually had to sleep in their cars. I was like, how, like, you're talking about them like Oakland A's. Like, they're awful with money. Like, Moneyball, good movie. I suggest everyone watches it. Brad Pitt, fantastic movie. Baseball Economics, perfect. No sarcasm, I actually do like that movie. But yeah, like, I saw a thing that says like the Orioles just can't. Their minor league team, I don't know what team it was, but they couldn't. And Shohei Ohtani, this dude is insane. He is a pitcher and a batter, and this man will pitch like 20 strikeouts in a game, and then the next day hits 2 home runs. I think he actually, it was 10 strikeouts, and then he hit 2 home runs the next day. And then he was like his own pinch hitter. So like the AL, I'm gonna get the designated hitter. I'm heated about the designated hitter, but it was the first time. It was like, I think last night. It's the first night that the National League used a designated hitter and the American League didn't. Because when a National League team faces an American League team, they have to abide by the American League rules, and then vice versa, when American League goes. So the Dodgers used one, but Ohtani, because he's amazing, was his own pinch hitter or designated hitter. I was like, but and he I don't know if anyone else committed, but he's the first commitment for the home run derby, and I think he's gonna be the first pitcher to participate in the home run derby. And I hope he wins. Depending on who else is in there, actually, but
well, Castellanos will probably be in there. That's what they're calling him now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 'cause all his home runs. I feel like he would be in.
Oh, yeah, I feel like too.
Probably real fucking cocky every time he hits a home run.
Probably has the hat backwards. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He backed out for. He wanted to focus on his mental health for the second half, and I'm like, but he's playing the All-Star game, so I'm like, dude, just blast like 40 home runs like you did last or 2 years ago. Cause he set like he didn't win, but he set like every home run derby record, and he's 20. Like, it's crazy, but um. But yeah, like Shohei, like I had his stats, but they disappeared. I accidentally deleted them. But like, yeah, he has like one of the best ERAs, and he's also like leading home runs, and he's like doing everything, and he's a two-way player, and he's just good.
Yeah, I meant to talk about him on Brohawks multiple times. He's not still close to the home run lead or actual leading, is he? I know he was for the early season. That's why I meant to talk about. He was top ERA and top home run list.
I think he was, but I think he's like fourth now.
Okay, it's still crazy, but yeah, I meant to talk about that because he's literally at the top of both of them for a while, and it's crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know who this guy was before this year.
He's only been around for like 2 years.
Yeah, okay.
He was supposed to be because he was a two-way player in like Japan,
Wow.
and then he got hurt, so he had a Tommy John surgery. So he only hit and he didn't pitch. So people are like, "Oh, he's a good hitter," but like we don't see his pitching, and now he's second.
Oh, okay.
He's
so
second with
still.
it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with 24, Otani with 23, Fernando Tatis Jr. With 22, Kyle Schwarber with 21, and Matt Olson with.
Okay.
And then Castellanos is second with hits. Oh, yeah, it does. Winker is 12th, and Castellanos is.
Okay.
I still feel like Castellanos is still.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So Shohei Ohtani is just fantastic. He's a beautiful baseball player, and he's just really good. The Reds have Shogo Akiyama, and I don't even know if is he still playing, because like his like wife got in a bike accident, so we went back to Japan to like, or I don't know if she was in Japan, but he like took care of her, and then he got hurt.
I thought he's come back since then.
Then he has, but I haven't seen him in the past few games. Maybe
okay.
maybe he is back, or he's just being quiet. He's just not hitting. Or they also sign outfielders like crazy, so they probably don't have, because they have Winker, Castellanos, and Senzel. Then they also have the Punisher, Aquinos. Then they have like all these other people. So like they sign, but they cut their only shortstop. Well, no, they let Galvis go free because they don't pay people. Then they signed D. Gordon, and I actually think he was not that great, but he wasn't that great, but like he played shortstop, and the Reds just didn't have a shortstop. Yeah. So I was like, all right, cool, I know this guy. They cut him, and then now, so actually they changed it. They have I think Farmer plays short, but they had like Suarez play shortstop, which I guess is his native position. Moustakas played third, which is his native position. And then they brought up Jonathan India, who's actually pretty good right now.
Oh, yeah. Really good.
I watched him when he was in Florida. Talking about 5 years apart or whatever. I watched him play. I think that was the year I started watching college baseball. He played for Florida. Pretty good. Then he disappeared for a bit, and then played for a few spring training games, and then now he's a starting second baseman.
My guy.
But yeah, they didn't bring back the universal DH, which I think is crap because I don't want to sit here because we were talking. What was it, Jared Hughes, when he came up and me and Aaron at the Reds game, and Aaron's like, or me and Aaron were like, oh, he's gonna suck, or it's a pitcher, so he's gonna do nothing, hit a single, and but so that stuff happens. But like most of the time when a pitcher comes up, you don't work on batting, you work on pitching. When the pitcher comes up, he's probably gonna bunt, which is boring. I mean, it works, but like it's still boring to do. Or I used to bunt all the time. I was actually really good at it. But anyways, or he strikes out, or he hits like little dinky like grounders. So like the universal DH was like, okay, put in a player that can hit. Watch the pitcher can pitch, and he does good pitching, and then put someone who can hit to hit. That way, I don't have to have the pitcher come up, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna get out, and then feel disappointed. Like bases loaded, 2 outs, pitcher comes up, I get so mad because I'm like, crap. But get like Shohei Ohtani, who's a DH. He comes up, probably gonna hit a home run because he's amazing, and hit a grand slam instead of a strikeout. And then, so I just think they kept the runner on second, and then it's a whole thing. Like I read the history of like why it was like literally the American League and National League are two different things, and then they both tried it. The National League is like, oh no, we're still not gonna do it, and the American League said we're gonna do it, and then they just never like met together to bring it back. So like the National League just hasn't talked about bringing the DH back, and I'm like, but I want it back because like also that's more players. So like you get your 9 players, but then the pitcher takes a spot. So now you have one guy who can possibly hit. Like have Aquino be your DH, and now Aquino plays every game, or have I forget everybody, but just have like more play. Like that's another spot because I play a game on my phone, and I'm always American League teams because I have the DH spot, and I can play more instead of figuring out who fits. Because it's not really like you just buy players. It's like everyone's like a mega superstar, and I just destroy teams all the time. It's fun, but like I have to like pick who I pick. But yeah, so DH. I think not bringing the National League not having a DH is dumb. I think universal DH should be a thing because I don't want the pitcher to come up and I'd be like, oh, easy out. Unless you're like Bumgarner who hits home runs and Bartolo Colon hit that beautiful home run.
I actually, I know I'm in a minority, but I disagree. I don't know if I'm just too traditional of a baseball fan, and I grew up watching the National League mainly, but I think there is actually a real argument to be made. I think, personally, before I get to why I think, like objectively, I think there's good reasons, but personally, I think it's actually fun seeing the strategy of it, like how you're gonna, if you can walk the person ahead of, usually the catcher usually bats ahead of the pitcher, but whoever's ahead of the pitcher, if you want to walk them or not. And I think it's very funny to have this set up where you do that and then it backfires. So I like the strategy of that, and it's not exciting to see a bunt. Well, inherently exciting, but when it works, or when they try and throw it to get somebody out at second and fuck it up or something and get greedy with it, I think that can make it more fun, even though, like I said, on its face it seems really boring. Or I think objectively you can make a argument better for it would be if there is always a designated hitter, I feel like pitchers would be not worried at all about throwing inside or hitting people, because I think the main reason people argue it is because a pitcher knows they have to go up there, so they can't be throwing inside whenever they want or hitting people because they know
hit
that
someone, then they step up.
Yeah, they know that.
Coming for you.
And I don't actually know this. It'd be interesting to see the stats on the American League compared to the National League when they have to have designated hitters, or when they don't have designated hitters, how often that happens, if it does increase or if it stays the same, because that could maybe change the argument a little bit. But yeah, I think that's a fair argument to make about it, is that I feel like it just instantly changes how pitchers would pitch.
Makes sense, but yeah, I just think of it, and also like not all the time. So like there are pitchers that can hit singles
Yeah.
and triples. Like Michael Lorenzen can do everything. But most of the time, a pitcher comes up or even like a American League, because American League has the DH. So when American League comes to the National League, then they have to bat.
Mm-hmm.
So now the pitcher who's never batted before has to bat. And then I see like stats, they have like a .50 ERA or not, that's not ERA.
Batting average.
Batting average. And I'm like, "Oh my god." But that's because most of the time I see like .50 or like they barely hit over 100.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want a bases loaded and this guy comes up,
Yeah.
or like you said, nobody on first and they walk the good catcher, your Salvador Perez or Yadier Molina, and then bring up the pitcher, and it's like, all right, well, game's over, and then.
No, I hear you.
But the Columbus Clippers. This is minor league baseball. Are 20-33, or that was wrong. 20-23, and they're fourth in the division. The new team, the Omaha Storm Chasers, is first place, and they're actually doing really good. And they were like in a league below. I want to say it was AAA. I think they were a single A team. I don't know, but they were like lower than the Clippers, but they would like win every year.
Mm-hmm.
So then they got bumped up, and now they're in our division, and they're like 10 games ahead of everybody. The bats suck, which I don't know how to feel, because like you said, it's like, okay, I root for the Clippers, but I hate the Indians, but I like the Reds, but I can't cheer for the bats because they're in the Clippers division. I do like going to the bats and Clippers games though, because it's like you can see Reds players. And
yeah, I was gonna say that's usually how I handle it. Is that it does feel weird to root for the Clippers because you're rooting against the Reds. But that's the way I look at it. I've always been a Clippers fan, so it's kind of like a player leaving a team or something. I don't stop liking that team because a player left. I'm a fan of the team first. So I stick with the team. I just wish they weren't the Indians or the Cleveland baseball team.
Yeah. That's the way I look at it too. It's the team, not who cares about the farm system or whatever.
Yeah.
It's your team. So.
But it is cool seeing them play Louisville because then you do get to see Reds prospects, and it's also cool because there's a lot more Reds gear at those games because there's so much fucking Indians gear when you go to regular Clippers games. So even though it's technically our opponents, I actually like seeing it because I'm like, God, finally some more Red stuff here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was at you.
Oh, you're good. I can tell this for a second. Do you know there's a team in the same league as the Clippers this year that came from somewhere else as well, called the El Paso Chihuahuas?
I think didn't you talk about, or someone showed, or no, you when we came for E3.
Oh, did I show you?
I think you showed us. Everyone left, and we were just showing around, and yeah.
I can't believe it's fucking real.
Cleveland.
So I saw it on Facebook first, and I was like, that's not real. And holy shit. They're in the same
real.
league as the Clippers.
Cleveland Chihuahuas.
There you go.
There we go. Washington Chihuahuas. I solved the issue.
Jesus Christ. You have anything else about baseball, buddy?
Do I? Is college baseball still baseball, or is it its own section?
Oh, no, you can do any baseball here. That's why I try. I noticed that last episode I kind of did it still. I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying leagues and just talking about sports because, it's going to be so hard to divide that shit up.
All right, so we're going to go to college baseball now. So for baseball, I said Buckeyes in Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
The College World Series is over. Oklahoma won, beat Florida State. I was kind of sad. I just don't like Oklahoma. I think Baker Mayfield just ruined everything Oklahoma.
Yeah, I feel you.
Because like softball has nothing to do with, because Alabama, like I hate Alabama football, but Alabama softball isn't football. So it's like I don't really, I'll watch them, but I was kind of sad. Florida State beat them in the first game, then Oklahoma beat them the next two, but Michigan got out the first round.
Ooh, yay.
Both teams did. Michigan got out in the first round in baseball and softball.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I think. Oh yeah, no, they did. Yeah, first round, but Ohio State didn't qualify
Yeah.
in either of them, so I was kind of sad. But it kind of sucks because there was no conference tournament. It was just like, okay, let's go, tournament
Mhm.
time, and then just. But yeah, World Series. You have best of three, best of three, double elimination, and your two brackets. So you get to your regionals, which is whoever had like they group them together, and whoever's the higher seed gets the region, which is your home field advantage.
Mhm.
And then the winner in that bracket goes to the super regionals, which is just one team, and then you play best of three, and then you go to the College World Series, which is another bracket, and then it's double elimination. And so baseball is, I need to double check because there was a game today, but Mississippi State, Texas, Virginia, Vanderbilt, North Carolina State, and then the people that were eliminated were Stanford, Arizona, and Tennessee. Now we're gonna see if that's still correct because Virginia and someone played.
Okay.
Oh, they're on right now, top of the ninth. It's Texas and Virginia, an elimination game. Top of the ninth, 2 outs, and I don't know who the home. Oh, Virginia's batting. So if Virginia has to score 4 runs with 2 outs. Yeah, there's 2 outs, and then you score 5 runs to win the game. So I think Texas is gonna win,
Mhm.
which is kind of hard because I like Virginia baseball, but I also like Texas baseball. But tomorrow, it's Friday. Wow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow Vanderbilt plays North Carolina State, and that'll be the game to get into the finals.
Okay.
But because they have to beat, I think they have to beat North Carolina State twice because they are 2-0 and Vanderbilt lost, but Vanderbilt's really good. The top two players in the 2021 draft are Vanderbilt pitchers.
Damn.
So they're pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Uh. I did that. For baseball, the only Big Ten teams were Michigan, Nebraska, and
Ooh.
Maryland, and they all went out the first round. So, but I guess softball. I was watching one of those games, and then the broadcasts were like, "Yeah, the Big Ten this year just got wrecked." Like, cause softball, I think it was Minnesota, Michigan, and I think someone else. But like, not a lot of Big Ten teams went. But that's kind of sad. Um. Olympics. Uh. Olympic baseball. The men's qualified for the Olympics.
Yeah.
So for baseball and softball are going to return for the first time since 2008. So that's exciting. And then I'll get the whole Olympics in a second. But yeah, so the baseball team is basically filled with outcasts of the MLB. So like the players who didn't get signed during free agency are on the team, and then AAA and AA, so minor leaguers. So Todd Frazier is on the team from the Reds. Homer Bailey from the Reds. Not anymore, but John Jay, he used to play for the Cardinals. Matt Kemp, he used to be a Red for like a week, and then they cut him. and then against baseball. So yeah, that's my longest one.
Where's Homer Bailey from? You know?
I think Texas, like born.
Yeah.
I think Texas.
I don't know why I think he's from Texas. I don't know why I think he might be Canadian because he wouldn't be on Team USA, obviously.
I mean, he can still, if he applies for dual citizenship, he can play for Team USA if he wanted to. That's what Marcus Stroman, he played because also for the baseball classic. He qualified to play for the Dominican Republic. I'm pretty sure. I think maybe he qualified to play for somebody, and he didn't play for his home. It was his home country, and he didn't. He played for Team USA, and everyone gave him crap from his country. And then in the finals, he played that team. So I think it was Puerto Rico. Doesn't sound right though.
Are you sure that wasn't just for the World Baseball Classics? I'm pretty sure the Olympics you have to be born there.
Maybe.
Pretty sure that.
I know the World Baseball Classic was if you had dual citizenship, you can play either one.
Yeah.
Because Kyrie Irving played for Australia, I think. Or no, he could play for Australia, but he played for the United States. I think that's what it was. I don't remember. That was so long ago. But yeah, Marcus Stroman. Because then he's like, everyone's like, "Oh, you're terrible for doing this," and then he threw like a no hitter in the finals and won. He's like, "Ha." Or I think it was just a shutout. Probably said more, but
yeah.
Or through a shutout. I don't know. He shut out like one of the best because USA doesn't really do that well in baseball because the Dominican Republic has like mega superstars, but they shut him out, and yeah.
Well,
I think that's it for baseball.
I was gonna. No, not much. I'm just gonna add. I know you touched on the Reds, but do a recap here really quick. Last time I talked about them, they were 33-31, 4 games out of first place in the NL Central behind the Cubs, the leading team at the time. Well, actually tied with the Brewers. So both them were number
also
one.
Boo.
Yes, bingo. Less boo, but still a boo. And now the Reds are 37-36.
Yay!
And I had it at 4.5 games out because that's when they were 36-36. I'm not sure what they would have been with the results today. But so in that span, they went 4-5. And you probably saw this game, Trevor. The first game, they had a good streak going with a lot of wins. And then the first loss they had was against San Diego. They were down 2-0 going into the ninth inning and then scored 4 runs. So you would think that's a lock-up, and that's kind of game that is like a huge momentum swing. Not that they needed it because they were on a roll, but that just amplifies it. But then San Diego scored 4 in the next half of the ninth and took the game 6-4, which that's a whole other momentum swing the wrong way if you're a Reds fan. And I'm not somebody that overreacts. I'm not like, oh, they lost that one game. I know fans are like that. They're so reactionary. They had a great streak. My only worry was that it was such a momentum kind of game that I was worried they might go on a bad streak after that because it's such an up and down thing. And it started that way. They started out after losing that, they lost the next. Should have had it marked down here.
They got swept by
Padres, which was 4 games.
I kind of figured because they're amazing, but they actually played really well. Like they won the series against the Dodgers, which is great. They actually play well against the Dodgers. No matter how good the Dodgers are, the Reds always like play with them. And they played with the Padres. Like they were up like so odd something, and then they lost. But then like a few games were like 1 game or 1 point or 1 run.
That's what made me worry a little less. They weren't just getting like blown out or something. They were competitive. So they did lose the next 3 to the Padres, so a 4-game sweep by the Padres. And then they lost the next 2 to the Twins. Or no, sorry, they lost the first game to the Twins and then beat the Twins and then beat the Braves tonight. So after going that 5-game losing streak, they won 2 in a row. So that tells me that hopefully it wasn't the kind of issue I was worrying about where it just might downward spiral after that. But we'll see what happens. I think, like I said, as long as they're around 500, I feel pretty good about it. I think that gives them a chance to get in the playoffs.
Definitely.
I think, like you said, they're competitive in all of those games, and they weren't as bad as that first game as far as how the game went. But they were all very similar in games they should have won, and then the bullpen blew it, which has been a thing for the Reds for years and years, but
so
amplified to this year, especially because they've been so competitive. I think the Reds really need to do something at the trade deadline, and I think they could have a
get rid of all of them. Our whole reliever staff just gone.
Yeah, I think their team's already competitive, but I think that could be the real game changer. And
Oh, definitely. Because, yeah, we have the batters. We don't have the pitching. But now we have the starting pitchers, actually.
oh yeah, starting isn't the issue.
We gotta more better pitchers.
Yeah.
And Tyler Mahle, a few years ago, he was terrible. Like, he was just awful. And now he's, like, throwing. Wade Maley's throwing shutout games. He's throwing shutout. Like,
a no-hitter.
Yeah, he threw a no-hitter the other against the Cleveland baseball team. And yeah, the Reds.
Go Reds. Let's hope they make some
But,
moves there, because I think that can make the
TJ,
difference.
I think it's DJ Anton. That's his name.
Yeah.
He's back. He did pretty good. They just signed what's his name? Gutierrez, I think. They signed some dude, and he's like 3-1 with like a 2 point something ERA. So he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Starting out. Their catcher plays first base now when Votto can't. So that's something interesting.
Yeah.
And they're just playing everybody around. And the Angels did that the other day. Their catcher, I think they only have one catcher, so he was hurt. So a pitcher or a infielder, someone played catcher that doesn't play catcher, and then a pitcher played the outfield, and then a pitcher batted for the first time in 3 years. Like all together, and it was like a whole mess. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Angels are out here. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. They're just all over the place.
You know what was an easier name for them?
What?
The Anaheim Angels.
That would be a lot. That's what I referred them as. I'm like, or I just said
Yeah.
Angels or LA Angels. But yeah, they're like the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
So fucking dumb.
Or yeah, just Anaheim Angels.
That's what it used to
Or
be, yeah.
Los Angeles Angels. Based in California or Anaheim.
Is that part of the name? Based in Anaheim? Is
I
that?
don't think so. Because you can have multiple LA. Because
Yeah. You can.
but-
I think Anaheim fits Angels better, and I think there's enough fucking LA sports teams and multiple.
California is just all sports, like
Yeah.
beaches and sports.
We can move on to hockey if you want, buddy. You said you had something?
Do I?
I think you said that. If you don't, it's okay. I don't have a whole lot either this week, actually, for hockey. Hockey.
Oh, yeah, something just popped up.
Okay.
I'm on like 10%. So we gotta. Actually, I don't think I have anything main. Really. It was just about playoffs. I just got a notification.
Oh, okay. I was going to
About-
talk about that anyway, so
Oh, I can. Do you want to do it?
yeah, I'm fine with that.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, I don't care.
I've been
So,
talking a lot.
you're good, buddy. So, we were down to the final four teams before the start of this. It was the Canadiens, Golden Knights, Lightning, and Islanders. And Canadiens and Golden Knights played Game 6 tonight, and they knocked Las Vegas out of the playoffs. Yeah, fuck Las Vegas.
Avenge the Colorado Avalanche.
That's right. And Las Vegas just fucked them in general. I'm not going to act like I'm a fan of any of these teams. As I said before, right now I'm just rooting against teams, and Golden Knights are definitely a team I was rooting against, and the Canadiens were the lowest seeded team, so an underdog. And I keep forgetting to look this up, but I feel like they haven't won a Stanley Cup in a very long time. So,
I think that's what popped up.
yeah.
First Stanley Cup final since '93.
Oh, okay. I think I was saying 80s, but that's not too far off, I guess.
Yeah.
And then I know the Golden Knights haven't won one, but they've only been around a few years and just got dealt a fucking, I was going to say a golden deck. I can't do that now. But you get the point. And then the next series you have the Lightning and Islanders. Like I said, they're tied at 3, so they're gonna have Game 7 on Friday, depending on when you're hearing this. But this Friday, and I'm not gonna act like I'm an Islanders fan, but go Islanders, because fuck the Lightning. And again, the lowest seeded team.
I kind of like the Lightning. I like just Lightning in general. Like I think Lightning's really cool. So.
Well, I used to like you, Trevor.
But it's Tampa Bay, and I don't like Tampa Bay because of Tampa Bay.
Yeah, fuck that.
Or was it Tampa Brady?
It was both, sadly.
Both.
Yep, he trademarked both on that piece of shit.
Boo! Down with Brady. Forced retirement.
And then the only other hockey news I had, the Blue Jackets hired somebody to be their new senior vice president, which I'm not going to act like I know what that entitles or who this guy is. But it's notable because his name is John Tortora, and sounds
Tortilla or the last
Tortorella. Yeah. No, I'm laughing because that's the joke people are making. Here's I'll try and remember to post this in the video. Also, if you're listening to this, thank you for listening. But this is definitely a podcast I would watch and not listen to. And gonna hopefully have a graph here that I'm about to show Trevor.
Oh, yeah.
Right there, yeah. Yeah, people are making a joke about how the Blue Jackets hired their new executive. And that's John Tortorella, just a terrible disguise.
That's funny. I like that.
I don't know how the fuck his name's already so, I don't know if obscure is the right word, but I'll say obscure. And then how do you find somebody that has such a similar name and hire him to the exact team? I was like, what the fuck? Looks like you're trying, I know they weren't, but that seems like you're trying to do that.
Yeah.
But that's
wasn't
all
he not a bad coach, but like at first wasn't he like super mean to like the players? The old Tortoise.
Tortorella.
Tortoise.
Tortilla. Yeah, he was,
like,
and
really mean.
Yeah, a lot of players said that motivated him to be better, but a lot of them when he first started coaching said that he didn't know how to manage that, and he was only mean. And they said that the more he coached, the more he learned to use that as motivation, and the more he realized to show players that he wasn't doing that to be mean.
And they swept the Lightning.
Fuck yeah.
But lost to the Bruins, but
well, they got fucking shafted out of that series.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, that was another Boston special there. That was some of the fucking worst officiating I've ever seen.
I watched like game 2 or one of them. I don't know. One of them with everybody when Jeff was part of the group. And
yeah, it's some of the worst series officiating I've seen in any sport. It was so bad.
Oof. Should have been there and yell at them, and I always want to do that. Just be right behind a ref and be like, "Hey, you suck."
Yeah.
But also, I don't want to get ejected because those seats are like $300.
Yeah, exactly.
That would suck, like spending all that money and then you get ejected. And
I know you said you want to talk about NBA. You probably know a little more than I do.
Not really, no.
No?
I can though. Wait, there's a hockey thing still.
Oh, you had something hockey.
That was what it was. It was what I said before was the playoff. I was going to talk about because that's what it popped up saying that the Canadians won. I'm like, oh, I could talk about that because I didn't know that at the time. A former Chicago Blackhawks player says in a lawsuit against the team that the then assistant coach sexually assaulted him in 2010 during a playoff run to Stanley Cup. So now the employee's retired. But yeah, another sexual assault.
Just male on male?
Former assistant Bradley Aldrich was convicted in 2013 in Michigan of fourth degree criminal sexual conduct involving the student. And then I guess the Blackhawks hired him. I guess.
Lines up with Chicago, and it happened in Michigan. What a surprise.
Yeah. Yeah, just another. I feel like everyone's popping up. Sean Watson's just not gonna. They're not gonna. Sean Watson's not coming back to the NFL, I don't think. Or he's gonna stay in Houston. No one's gonna want him. Like he's good. Like I mean, I don't think I hate what he did in I hate what he did to Ohio State when he played for Clemson, but
Yeah.
like I tend to forget not Baker Mayfield because I just hate him with a passion. I'm sorry, Cody, but boo Baker. But I just once there's some players like I don't like in college, but they go to the NFL and you kind of either forget about them or they just stop being the way they are. So like, what am I talking about? What the heck? I definitely forgot. Oh, Deshaun Watson. That was terrible. But yeah, I didn't mind him as a Texan, and he was pretty decent. And like, I hate him for being at Clemson, but like, I didn't really I had nothing against him. It was just like, oh, you beat Ohio State. Same with Trevor Lawrence. Actually, I just don't like Trevor Lawrence because I just think he's a douchebag, and
Oh yeah.
he has like women hair, and I just don't know why. I feel like he's gonna cut it because like Justin Herbert had long hair and he cut it. So Urban Meyer might be like, "Hey, cut your hair."
Just do a cute little man bun. If I was in the NFL, even my hair this long, I would fucking shave it as soon as I got to the league. You're literally allowed to use that to pull them down the same as you are a shoulder pad. I would never have hair that ever came out of my helmet. Well, fuck that.
You can be a mobile quarterback and let it flow in the wind.
Yeah. Until somebody's behind you and then they yank you down by it and it's not a penalty.
I hope Chase Young just wrecks him. I hope the Jaguar. I don't even know the schedule, but I hope. I do for the Bengals, but I hope the Jaguars or play the Washington football team, and I hope Chase Young breaks through the line and just knocks him out. Like block out, he's knocked out. Take him off the field. Hopefully he's okay. I don't wish and like severe energies on anybody. Like no matter how much I hate him, but I just hope he's like welcome to the NFL and
I'm with you.
just takes him out. And then Urban's like, well, that sucks. And then Tim Tebow will start.
There you go.
And then boom. But yeah, so that's hockey. We're on basketball now. They are also in playoffs. Everyone's in playoffs. NBA. We are down to in the East. We have the Atlanta Hawks, and the Milwaukee Bucks. And Atlanta leads 1-0. And in the West, we have the Phoenix Suns and the LA Clippers. And Phoenix leads that series 2-1. And I want the Suns to win it all. They just have good players. Don't really know much. I don't like I said, I don't really watch basketball except like for the finals. But like the Suns just feel like an underrated team that like hasn't been to the playoffs in a while. And the Clippers always make it to like some sort of level and then just fall apart.
Yeah.
And they're down 2-1 right now. And then the Bucks, I kind of want the Bucks to be in the finals because, well, the Hawks are just kind of a young team. They had Trae Young, who's pretty good. He played for Oklahoma.
A young team.
So, it's funny. But the Bucks have Giannis Acto. Aaron made me say it like 5 times. Like he actually sat with me and it was like, okay, it's Ante de Capoco or whatever. I can't. His name is crazy. Like it's Ante Capoco. Like he's Greek. He's a Greek freak. But yeah, he plays for the Greek national team for the thing. But yeah, so that's what's happening in the NBA. Back to the people I know. I know he actually didn't. The guy I know didn't play in the NBA, but he was good. It was Nick Ward. He played for Gahanna, and then he played for Michigan State, and he was on like SportsCenter and stuff. Not like on it, but like talked about. And then he went undrafted, and then he played. There we go. He played for a league in Turkish league. Then he was signed by the Hawks and played in the G League with the Skyhawks. And then he went to Istanbul League. and then he now plays for a Canadian Basketball League. So he's not the he's not in the NBA, but I know someone that almost was in the NBA.
You got one in every league. Look at you. Or
Pretty
every sport,
much.
at
Yeah,
least.
I almost had soccer. I almost had basketball, or kind of had basketball. I had baseball, I had football. I know someone that plays, he signed for like a low-level hockey team. So I don't know if he gets called up or how hockey works with that, but I forget what he plays. But um, did you hear the Globetrotters want to be a legit team in the NBA?
No.
Yeah. I have the thing. They wrote a letter to Adam Silver, who's the commissioner of the NBA, and Harlem Globetrotters send letter to NBA seeking to become an official franchise. They have the highest winning percentage in the history of professional sports, which I've only watched one Harlem Globetrotters game, and they just didn't even like play. They just like goofed off the whole time.
Yeah, this seems like satire. They do have the best in history because it's scripted. It's literally scripted. They win every game.
Yeah.
They can't lose.
But they're like, yeah, Harlem. They're looking to test their basketball skills because they haven't played an NBA team since 1949, and that team doesn't exist. It's the Minneapolis Lakers. So like, they haven't played an NBA team since 1949, but like, they're a team that just does tricks and stuff. So like, if you play like the Lakers, like, they're probably gonna get destroyed. Like, I don't know. I could see them like spinning on their finger. LeBron just like body slams them or something. I don't know, but yeah. Says Trotters want NBA and Commissioner Adam Silver to acknowledge their influence on how the game is played today and make them an official NBA team. Quote. This is quoted. Based on what we've already proven, we can field a team of talent on par with the pros of today, and we want the chance to do that, the team said in a statement. As a world-renowned and legendary professional basketball team, we petition Commissioner Adam Silver and NBA governors and the powers that be to grant the original Harlem Globetrotters an NBA franchise. Not now, but right now. Oh, what? Something about they like how NBA fights social injustice. Talking about how like the Harlem Globetrotters get signed by the NBA, or I don't know. Doesn't really give you like, it just says they want to be. It doesn't really give you that much. It's USA Today. But apparently they want to expand the NBA, so maybe we'll get another Seattle team.
Probably. I know a better city that could put one in though.
Columbus.
Bingo. There's
Columbus.
a great arena for it too.
Columbus Globetrotters.
Yeah, why
Columbus
the fuck
Buckeyes.
does New York need another team? That's where Harlem is.
That's true.
I know New York's made fucking massive, but still.
Yeah,
I feel like
get
that's
someone else.
I didn't read it. I'm sure it is real, but that seems like satire. That's fucking. That's never gonna happen. The NBA, even if they're serious about that, I don't think it is gonna be like you're saying that they come in, they're doing these tricks and everything. I'm guessing it's a name, and then they would be essentially an expansion team and get players like a real NBA team and just use the name. But still, I feel like the name is so known for being scripted, and everybody's already conspiracy theorists, and people who don't like sports are already so suspicious of sports being rigged that I feel like you're just asking for people when you bring in a team that's known for being rigged, and that's the point of it. It's not like a debate. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really watch. I've only watched that one Globetrotter game, but they're not like on TV. Like, you watch them.
Yeah.
Tickets, but
yeah, it's just like a touring thing, like a circus, which is pretty fitting because it's pretty much fucking circus.
Yeah, watch them play like the Generals or something like that, and like he was like they were talking to the ref, and then he like jumped on the what was it? He jumped on the basketball hoop and he just sat on the hoop, and they like throw him the ball, he catch it, and just toss it down, and they would like cycle it back. I'm like, what's happening? Right? Like, I just didn't know what was happening.
I like basketball, but it's definitely the sport I know least and enjoy the least, which doesn't sound good, but I do enjoy basketball. But if they didn't touch that team, they just threw in that team with the NBA. That would make me watch so much more basketball. That'd be so entertaining to see these top tier basketball players in the entire world go up against this team that's just fucking trolling and
Yeah, they're just
being idiots. I would fucking watch that all day.
spinning balls around, and LeBron just like, what's happening? And
yeah, I literally wouldn't miss one of those games. I bet this is fucking great.
but yeah, Columbus should get a team. Nebraska should get a sports team.
Yeah, not basketball. I don't think Nebraska would be too fond of basketball, but yeah, maybe football.
Indiana, well, they have the Colts.
And they have
And
the Pacers.
Oh yeah, I guess. I'm thinking of I watched this one movie. I forget what it was called, but it was about the Indiana college basketball.
Oh yeah.
So I just think of them as a basketball school.
I gotcha.
Yeah, Nebraska. Farmers, corn. Not the corn
Farmers'
huskers,
corn.
the farmer corn.
That's a good name.
Yeah. North Dakota. Be the North Dakota Monuments. I don't know what sport, but South Dakota. Because they have college teams, but they have no. Thinking of Wyoming.
You're picking all these places that are known for being empty lands. I think you get many people there.
You start a community, like put a sports team in. People want to watch them, so they'll travel. So you put up restaurants and housing for like the players and for tourists, like hotels, and then
And
now
they
you have
realize they're stuck in fucking Nebraska and shit.
well, then you add more stuff to it. Add more sports, add more restaurants and housing and parks, and get some corn tours. Make everybody a farmer, and then yeah, there you go. You break. Yeah, you start a franchise and make Nebraska into like a big city, and then soon they're gonna be like beating Orlando and New York teams, and I can say I made the idea. I'll do that. I'm gonna start a new sports team in Nebraska.
I think my favorite part is that you just managed to turn a state into a city. You know, turn Nebraska into this great city.
I mean, they have Omaha, and Omaha has like all the. Omaha's probably the only city in Nebraska that's actually like worth going to because it has all the college stuff. But
that's why Peyton Manning used to say it every 2 seconds in the huddle.
Omaha hike.
That's all I had though, buddy. If you want to talk about anything else you got.
Got 6%. It's fast. Olympics. Olympics are gonna be July 23rd through August 8th in Tokyo after the 2020 delay due to COVID. But the Winter Olympics are still gonna be February 4th of 2022. So we're gonna have like Olympics, and then like 7 months later we have more Olympics. I don't really watch the Winter Olympics though, because I don't like. I watch curling. I actually was sick one time, so I watched Olympic curling. It was Ohio State or. Oh my God! It was the U.S. It was USA versus I think Sweden, and I watched it, and then I realized cause like I wasn't feeling well, but like I was well enough to miss like my 8 a.m. class, but I could go to my second class. But no, I watched curling, and then cause I was awake, and then when the game was over, I looked down, I'm like, oh, I just missed my whole class. So yeah, curling's fun. But like, I mean, snowboarding's cool, but like I just don't understand how it's like ranked or like how it's scored. I just see them jump and spin, and then they're like, oh, you get a 10. But
seems like the easiest to rig as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. But summer has like basketball, baseball, softball. They added more. We'll get to that in a bit. They're allowing 50% capacity, but for locals only. So only Japanese can Tokyoans and go to the arenas. They can't allow like Americans and Italians and all those people.
Well, that seems like quite the home field advantage, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
Many
Like, yeah.
Japanese are going to be rooting for America or Russia or anybody but Japan.
So yeah, that's gonna be rough. They're the first city to host the Olympics. That does not sound right. Oh yeah, because America, but like it's not the city. Yeah, they're the first city to host the Olympics twice. So like not Ohio State. What the heck? Um, America. America hosted the Olympics multiple times, but like they're in different cities. The 2020 games will see the introduction of new competitions, including 3-on-3 basketball. I don't know, it's 3-on-3, but they're also having more basketball, so I don't know if there's a difference. But freestyle BMX, so like not bike racing, but like people doing tricks on their bikes and down rails and stuff. Madison cycling, which is like a relay race, but on bikes. So like that'd be interesting. As well as karate, sports climbing, so like rock climbing. I saw qualifications and they're crazy. Like they boulder, which means they don't use harnesses, so they just jump on it and start like flying through. And I'm like, I can't do that. They had it for this wasn't Olympics, but they had it for like kids, so like, these 12-year-olds, and these people were like scaling. Like I'd be like slowly going up. They were like like 5 seconds. Like they were setting world records at like 5 seconds, climbing up this like I don't know how big it was, like 10 foot or not 10 foot short for climb. I don't know, but it was tall, and they were like scaling. I'm like, that's crazy. Surfing and skateboarding, and then like I said, baseball and softball return first time since 2008. I went through that. The USA men's basketball is set. Kevin Durant is the only one returning from the Rio Olympics, but it also stars like Devin Booker and Damian Leonard. He's a rapper. Did you know that? Like D-Dime or Dime or something like that. And Tokyo has vaccinated less than 1% of their population because they were worried about some countries. I don't know, because I was reading something and I couldn't tell if it was from 2020 or from now because the timeline was kind of messed up. Like some countries still won't go to Olympics because, apparently a new strand came out in Tokyo, or officials were like, oh, if we host the Olympics, then our spike will rise and all that stuff. But like they're still doing it anyway. Mm-hmm. But yeah, 1% of the country is vaccinated. So I don't know if they just can't get it or they don't want it or how that works. But I have a friend, family friend. You remember Andrew Burnham from the theater? Like the skinny kid, talks about fires.
Yeah,
he is in the Marines in Tokyo. Well, he's based in like outside of Okinawa or Hiroshima, close to Tokyo, and he was talking about how he doesn't know he's gonna get the vaccine because like no one in the country is getting it. It's like kind of hard to get it, but like apparently like he can't come back to the U.S. unless he has it or something weird like that. But yeah, he's a Marine now.
Well, he's always said that. I didn't think he actually followed through with it.
Yeah, I didn't think he would do it, but Andrew Burnham's a really weird kid that worked at the theater. I didn't work with him when he worked there, but I was a friendly friend with his family, and he was just a really weird kid.
No doubt. Trevor, I invited you on a sports podcast, and then you had the nerve to talk about the Olympics.
Is the Olympics not a sport?
I play it up for humor, but the Olympics annoy me. I'm not trying. You can like whatever you like.
Really?
I'm just, they annoy me because, like I said, I think it might be different this year with how much Americans acted to hate Americans for some weird reason. But normally, Americans act like it's like the most important thing. If we don't win gold and everything, then their life is ruined. I'm like, why do you care about majority of these sports or sports that majority of Americans don't care about outside the Olympics, but we need to make sure we're the best at these sports that we don't care about?
That's true.
So, like I said, even if you love them, I don't care. And even if somebody watches and enjoys it, I'm like, if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. There's nothing wrong with that. I just talking about how it's like the most important thing when it's a combination of like all the sports Americans care least about. I'm like, okay, we don't.
I don't like. I watch them and I like the Summer Olympics more, but I said because the Olympics have sports you don't really see on TV. So like fencing, fencing's not the exciting thing in the world, but I've never seen like people fence before.
Yeah.
So besides like TV or whatever. So like watching fencing was kind of cool. Or like ping pong, like these people are like literally it's a table this big with the net here and they're just like and I'm like, what the heck? Like they're going so fast. And then swimming, Ryan Locke, he was like a really good swimmer a few years ago. He's the one that got arrested in Brazil. He did not qualify for the Olympics this year, and they think he's gonna not be in it anymore because he's like 36. So the next time he would be able to do it, he'd be 40. And like any other sports player ever, like by 40 is pretty much ancient. Like when you're 40,
Pete Rose apparently.
yes.
But no,
Tom
you're
Brady.
right.
Tom Brady's immortal.
Fuck him.
He's like 45, right? That's been weird. Drew Brees retired.
That's another thing. I feel like all the top Olympics in America are just giant douchebags. Locke, Michael Phelps.
You think he's a
Sean,
douchebag?
I think so.
Oh, really?
Sean White. Yeah, I can't.
Oh,
Always feel I can't stand.
Tony Hawk.
He seems like a down to earth guy. Actually,
Oh, really? He had
I like him.
I feel like he had the most because he had his own video game. He had his own shoes. Like I wore Tony Tony Hawk like clothes and Tony Hawk like shoes, and he had his own jean line.
You said that Kevin Durant's the only person returning. Isn't Kevin Love playing again?
Yeah, but he didn't play for.
Oh,
he didn't play for the 2016. I don't
Okay.
think. At least it said. It said he wasn't.
Might not have. I thought he did, but I will say, like I said, I think it is weird how America's fascination with all of these sports they don't care about. But I definitely get if you're interested in the sports, why you'd be more interested in that. Like baseball coming back, I didn't know that was coming back. I'll be interested in that. I think those are a little less exciting just because it's supposed to be the most competitive people from all around the world, but by default the most talented baseball players aren't going to be there because the most well-known baseball league, none of the players are coming from there to play it, so it's kind of a weird thing. Hockey's had that issue as well when they don't participate in the Olympics, where it's exciting, but you're not really seeing who's the best at that sport because it's like a dumbed-down version of the sport. It still is fun to see, but I actually like the Winter Olympics the most, and because hockey's in the sport I care about most in either of the Olympics.
That makes sense, yeah.
But it definitely is, like I said, seems like a dumbed down version, or like maybe not dumbed down is the best word, maybe like an off-brand version, like when you have all the players that are not NHL players. But the NHL was finally smart enough to agree to come back for the next Winter Olympics. So I can't wait to see it. That was probably 2004. I can't remember what Winter Olympics it was. Probably 2008. But that was some of the funnest hockey I've ever seen, and it was fun because so many people that don't usually talk about hockey are like, "Did you see that game?" Or talking about hockey, and it's like, "Oh my God, you're missing." Kind of like I talked about with people not caring about the sports. We have a team here, and yeah, it's this exciting. It's fucking great. But that was the year that the U.S. and Canada went to the final game together, and the U.S. won silver, unfortunately. And fucking Rick Nash scored the game-winning goal for Team Canada. Yeah, he's a Blue Jacket, so that was one of those weird things that he scored the game-winning goal, and it's our player, but we lost and missed gold from fucking Canada.
Dang.
But it was some of the most exciting hockey, so we'll see what the U.S. can do anything close to that
Weren't
again.
they in, like, the 2012 Olympics, or?
They were, but that was one of those years where the NHL wasn't a part of it. So,
okay. Because I remember I was in what's it called? Not infotech, but it was like a tech computer class or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And a friend of mine who tweeted about Evan White, the baseball player, he was a student aide. And I did nothing in that class, and I got like an A+. But me and him would it's like 2014 or something like that. Me and him would be in the back of a class, and he would log into like his hockey account or some like he had NBC. He had some sort of like account, and we would just watch Olympic hockey, like the whole class period.
Yeah.
And then the teacher would be like, "What are you doing?" We're like watching hockey, and she's like, "All right," because like we finished all our work. It's like it was
Yeah.
easy, but
I was trying to figure out the
Yeah.
years. How I'll talk about that next episode because I don't want to distract when you're talking. But I don't think that would have been a year that NHL players played. I feel like the last time they played, let's say maybe it was 2006. So I was off a couple of years. I feel like that's the last time the NHL participated in it. So it's been a long time. And you can tell the difference. Like I said, I enjoy it because I like hockey and I want to see the U.S. win, but it just seems like an off-brand of it and it's way less exciting not knowing the top talent is not out there.
yeah. Because Beijing, or for watching it, like I like baseball, but like last time Beijing was like for baseball, like it was something an hour difference. So like they're playing baseball at 2 a.m. and I'm like, I'm in bed. Like,
oh yeah, I definitely woke up some weird ass times to watch the hockey games.
I'd probably be up for that. So unless I'm working, because I got that new job.
Yeah.
So.
Oh no, I definitely doing get-togethers for that because. And so that was one of the most fun things. All these people that don't normally watch hockey and just seeing them so
2
fucking
a.m.
excited.
get-togethers.
Yeah.
I'd join.
I know that year they were more reasonable. I think maybe that was the years in Canada, so the times weren't nearly as bad that year.
Yeah.
So they were
Because they're still in the same time zone.
Yeah, so it's like a hour difference depending on where you were sometimes.
I think Tokyo's 13 hours.
Yeah.
So it'd be like noon would be midnight or 1 a.m. something like that.
Yeah. We'll see what happens though. Anything else you want to talk about in your first episode here, Trev Dog?
I don't think so. We covered baseball. Oh, I wanted to say something like via like smart ass and was like talk about tennis or something like that, but I honestly just don't know.
Well, you are
about
Serena
tennis.
Williams.
Yeah, Serena Williams.
Well,
Let's see. Is there any
tennis games?
Test matches? They're always in some sort of.
Oh, isn't Ohio State playing Russia right now?
Probably.
Facing off in the Big Ten World Tournament.
Wimbledon is coming up. That's what it. Do you watch the Euro Cup?
You said, do I?
Yeah. That's like with the European.
No, I know it's the higher bar and more talent, but I have no connection to it. That's why, like, if the crew left,
European is just fantastic.
Yeah, if the crew left here, I would have no attachment to soccer besides the U.S. team. So I know they're more talented there, but I could care less. So I guess the last thing we can talk about is what's in front of us.
Yeah.
I would say we went pretty long, so it's pretty dried up now, so we can't go off.
I was
what it
about to
tastes
say
like now.
gonna say that I'm like, wow, this is like.
Yeah.
It dried up kind of fast,
It
like
did.
the cheese did. Yeah. I mean, it was still like I still ate it. It was fine, but like, man, that kind of.
Yeah.
Like what we've been 2.5 hours, something like that. Does it say on?
It does. We can see it's real small. It's on the right side. Look at you.
2.5 hours.
I think the longest one we've done of these was like an hour. So
Ooh.
look at
Take
that.
that, Derek. Well, it's because I talk about the Olympics and college, and I added all the. But I don't really know football that well, so.
Oh, you're a good player. It's your first time on.
Heck yeah.
So what do you think about the pizza? We rate it from 1 to 8.
1 to 8.
Yep. You can add anything you want, or you can simplify it.
Taste wise, I give it a 7 out of 8.
Okay.
But then the quality, maybe like 4, because cheese just shouldn't like. That was fast drying. Like, I don't like. I mean, I guess I did. It took like 20 minutes to get here, 15 to 20 minutes to get here.
Yeah.
So
true.
plus whatever, I don't know when it came out of the oven and stuff. So maybe that was it. But plus I had like my windows down and AC going, and that's probably not good for it. But
Yeah.
like I could have ruined it, but.
So what would your
But,
overall score be then?
overall, probably a 7.5.
7.5. Wow.
Cause I mean it was good. Like even dried
Yeah.
up, it's still kind of good. So.
Is this the pizza that you think you remembered, or is this different?
Oh, this is different.
Is it?
I mean, it was like 7+ years ago since I had it, so I probably don't remember it. But I'm just gonna say I haven't had it, and then boom, I figured get someplace that. Because what Donato's is the other one. I'm like I eat too much Donato's. Like I'd be like one, but because it's good, but like I just eating so much of it, and then my dad and brother get Katie's pizza every week, and I don't like it. I get like their wings and stuff, and then, but even I get tired of the wings because if you're not a wing company, I get tired of the wings really fast. If you're like a Beat Ups and Roosters, I'll eat your wings all day. But
Sounds real fucking dirty for some reason. I'll eat your wings all day.
I'll eat their wings all day. But no, like yeah, 7.5, 7.
Okay.
7, because it was kind of dry, but part of it could be my fault. But taste wise, I thought it was good. I thought.
No, I'm with you. Yeah, right now it looks very unappealing. But yeah, I guess to be fair, it's been probably about a total of 3 hours in odd conditions. You can try. It doesn't usually go through well, but go for it. But judging by when it was maybe not as fresh as we had it, I would say the crust isn't. I feel like we say this every time, but so far pizza we've had, the crust hasn't stood out. The crust, nothing special about it. It just
Hollow.
complements it well.
Mine's just like, I guess
Airy.
Yeah, airy.
Yeah.
Like
Now it's crunchy. I think the cheese, the taste is good on the cheese. The sauce, I think, kind of doesn't add much. But overall, I like it quite a bit. I would say a 6 out of 8.
6 out of.
Yeah, it's really good. There's pizza. I've also had this one quite a few times, and it's been consistently good, which is also not a factor into the score, but a good thing to note because some pizza places are very inconsistent. Donato's actually one of my favorite pizza places, but they're some of the most inconsistent pizzas I get. I'm like, oh my god, it's one of the best pizza I've ever had, and I get one. I'm like, this is a fucking nightmare. What is this thing?
I like Massey's. I
Massey's
mean,
is great.
I don't like how it like drowns in grease. It's just kind of gross.
I love
but
that.
There's like puddles. Like
I know it's
I
beautiful.
don't dab my pizza, but with Massey's I dab my pizza because I get the napkin like.
Do you like
puddles?
You like the cornmeal on the bottom of it? All that, not on this, but like on Massey's, all the little yellow.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I love that. So good. I'm a weirdo. I like it so much. I feel like when I was younger, either I have something implanted in my mind that's not real, or they did it. I feel like they used to put way more cornmeal on when I was younger.
Really?
So
I
started.
Had it so long.
Yeah, I've gotten it somewhat often lately. And I felt like it was not tasting nearly as good. And I was like, I feel like it's because the cornmeal was really light. So I started ordering extra cornmeal on it. And it tastes so much better. If you think the grease looks gross, you should see this pizza. If you lift it up like the side, there's just like a ton of fucking yellow mess underneath from all the cornmeal because they put so much on there. But it's amazing. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing against like grease, but like, I just have a thing where like I don't really eat healthy, but like there's sometimes where I'm like, oh, this is the healthier option.
Oh, no,
but like grease, with anything greasy, I can't. Like if I see a puddle of grease, I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Like I don't.
Yeah, I couldn't be more opposite.
Yeah,
Which
I don't.
Not a
Yeah, I
good
don't
thing.
try. I don't try to like. It's not like I need a keto diet or whatever. I am eating spinach, but I'm trying new things. But like, just there's some things I'm like, no, I can't do that. But
I hear you.
Back to sports, but not sports. When will be the show? When are we doing our franchise?
I don't know if Derek's liking it. I would do it even. Like I said, I'm
Derek
not.
doesn't like it.
I don't know. We could ask him if he's. Well, I'd be down either way, but if he's down, then that'd be more fun because we have more people. I'm gonna suck dick because I've only played that one time because I was like, man, this is.
I'm very
everything I was good at.
inconsistent because like, so I'll play. So I'm playing the My Player. I've started the franchise, but like I don't know, just kind of slow for me. So I did the My Player, and I kind of want to play in high school and then get like scouting points, but they just start you off with have you played the My Player? Or?
No, I know.
So what they do is they start you off in the draft. You play no games prior. They just start on the draft, and then you do get drafted, but your high school or your college coach calls, and he's like, "Oh, like, what do you wanna like, what are you looking for, or whatever?" And then you can pick the I don't care, and it'll randomly draft you, or if you say I do care, and you can low key like pick your team. So like it'll be, oh, I don't really care, and then the coach would be like, oh, is it? Or I have a team, so the coach would be like, oh, is it, um, the Indians, and then the Cleveland baseball team, and then you can be like, no, it's a National League or same league but different team, and then he'll just keep guessing until he gets it right.
I think that's how it works in the real league.
Probably. So I did the random at first, and it gave me Texas Rangers, and I'm like, I don't really want this. So I chose the Blue Jays, and then I started on the the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, because you start in the Double-A, and then you play, and then I sucked because I was just getting used to it.
Yeah.
And then I got really good and hit my first home run on the last game of the season, and then I was asked to play for the Blue Jays in the spring training. I started off good, but then I simulated the rest, and then I sucked. So they sent me back down to Double-A.
Oh.
And then I played like a week, and then they're like, oh, we're going to send you up to Buffalo, because that's the AAA team.
Yeah.
So I played Buffalo for a bit, and my first game I hit a grand slam and a 2-home runner. And then I was just monstrous the whole season. Like, just 13 home runs, 30 RBI. Like, it was pretty cool. And then I was like top of the team and everything. And then I played in the spring training game, and I flat out sucked. Like, pops up everywhere. I struck out. Because I guess it's different because, like, you're actually facing MLB pitchers.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, man, I used to be, like, this really good hitter, and then now I'm not. So towards the end of spring training, I got better. Hit, like, 4 home runs and all that stuff. But then they sent me down to Buffalo. So I'll probably play, like, a week, and they'll call me up or something like that. And then I started off at second base. Because I'm a two-way player. So I played second base, and I played pitcher. And then you don't play pitcher. I was a pitcher. And then they ask you like constantly like, hey, you happy or whatever? And then you can say like, I don't want to be a two-way player anymore. I want to be pitcher only. I want to be second baseman only. So I said I'll do both. Like, I wasn't doing bad in pitching, and I was good fielding. And then I got called up to Buffalo, and they're like, hey, so we have a second baseman already. You wanna, or do you wanna try something else, or do you want to get traded? And I'm like, wow. So they give us like an option button, and you click on that, and they're like, well, we either trade you or you play third base. So I'm like, well, I could go someplace else and play second base, or I could risk being on a bad team that could be traded to the Cardinals or something like that, and then play second base, or I can stay with the team that I kind of picked and play third base. So I did that. I've been pretty good at third base, and then pitching I've been really good, and then where I stopped. So, because I've also played Assassin's Creed now, so. But that's a story for the current backloggers.
Which
on this channel. Go
look
watch.
at you!
Go
Wow,
watch.
what a guy! You'll have to be on that sometime, and you're definitely welcome back on here if you want to come on, buddy.
Talk about all the Assassin's Creeds I've played, and that'd be a good one. I started off playing Lego games, and then now I'm playing Assassin's Creed and Fallen Order, and
Cody can make a documentary about you.
oh, yeah, that's right, because he films stuff.
Yeah.
I hear that, Cody.
Oh,
I'm free.
If he makes it here, he would definitely do that. I'm gonna tell him that anyways.
Does he watch those sports ones?
Yeah.
Watches all of them?
He'll listen to them usually, but yeah.
Also, we can send this to him directly and be like,
yeah.
hey, Trevor's on. I'm going to do that to Aaron, because he said he would put this on, because he's watching them all over again, the backloggers all from the beginning on.
Is he really going to do it all the way through?
I don't know. At his job, he just
a
cleans.
lot of shit.
Yeah, well, he just cleans all the time. So he says he puts his earbuds in and listens to like audiobooks or podcasts and stuff. So just put one in and You could probably listen to like 2 of them by the end of the shift. So, but yeah, I'll probably listen to audiobooks 'cause I'm going to the same job. So, but I'll be available weekends. So if we ever do current backloggers, only available on weekends or before 5.
All right. We'll make it happen, buddy.
All right. Wait.
Quack.
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 Wait, what does Derek do? Pop, pop. I forgot that. Do that for him.
Go.
Go
Broncos.
Bengals.
Oh, you didn't say Seahawks.
Oh, go Hawks.
You're adorable. All right, let's do it, buddy.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
I start?
No, I was just making it awkward
Oh,
for you.
I could. It'd be like, welcome to the 3rd episode of Pizza Over Pigs.
It's okay. I mess it up like every time I say it.
Pigskin Over Pizza, where we talk about sports on over a hopelessly delicious pizza.
I think next time we should do it on the pizza. Just fucking sit on there.
Pizza.